604 Talk 107.3 FM. WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, Bray Lynn producing, starting you off at 63 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge, roughly 98 inside the studio, though. It's, if I'm just guessing.
It is roasting. We don't know what we're going to get. It's either freezing in here
Give me freezing.
or just roasting.
Give me freezing. I mean, I've got a jacket in my office I can put on if I'm cold. I can't take things off if I'm not.
Please don't.
HR has a problem with that. Broadcasting live from the 180 Pro studio. They handle IT, not temperature. Is your office in need? Is your network in need of a 180? Visit 180pros.com. We got a busy show lined up for you today. We're going to talk legislative preview. We are going to talk energy dominance. The U.S. Department of Energy's Deputy Secretary was in Plaquemine yesterday for the opening of the Magnolia Power Generation Plant, and he will join us this morning, 7:15 on the hotline. We are going to talk, we got a little Foodie Friday coming your way. We're going with a Lenten menu over at QDOBA. Deaton Trahan will be here at 8:35. We got a lot to get to, so let's get to it. Top stories and trending. Let's go. "35-year-old Emily Kane was identified as the person who died after swimming in a pond at Breck's Blackwater Conservation Area up in Central. It has been noted that the park was closed at the time of the incident. Also, while the final autopsy report is pending, get a load of this. Officials believe the death was suspected to be a result of foul play. A federal energy official and others, just told you about this. A federal energy official and others celebrated the opening of a new power plant in Plaquemine yesterday. James Danley, U.S. Deputy Secretary of Energy, was on hand as the 700-megawatt Magnolia Power Generating Station joined the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator, which controls power distribution through 15 states from Louisiana and Texas all the way up into Canada. Daley, like I said, is going to join us at 7:15 to talk about it. 3 juveniles, Kane Evans, Floyd Smith, and Caden Grayer, are set to be tried as adults after a shooting that left a 17-year-old dead and another person injured. The shooting happened back on January 10th. LSU's Board of Supervisors today will consider whether the state's flagship university will require most incoming freshmen to submit standardized test scores starting in the summer of 2027. Now, the move comes 5 years after the Board of Supervisors said that would-be students could apply without said test scores, but in that time, LSU officials said they have found that students who applied without test scores had lower retention rates and lower GPAs. This is kind of cool. They got a thing going on over at McKinley Alumni Center, the Name Your Seat campaign for the Lincoln Theater. After an extensive renovation, the Lincoln Theater will reopen this year. Before then, they raised some money last night over at the McKinley Alumni Center. The theater had held the Name Your Seat campaign, selling nameplates that will be mounted on the seats once the Lincoln Theater opens back up again. What you got, Breland?
Former President Bill Clinton is scheduled to be deposed by the House Oversight Committee in Chappaqua, New York, as part of the committee's investigation into convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Hillary was yesterday, Bill today.
They're expecting this one to last longer.
Yeah.
A lot more questions, probably fewer answers, a lot more dodging going on, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, Hillary was dodging.
Well, I mean, she wasn't dodging as much as she was saying, I didn't know him, I never met him. So you viewed that as dodging. I just viewed it as a denial.
See, I view it as she's tight-lipped. She ain't saying anything.
Okay.
That's how I took it.
She's not going to straight up lie under oath.
That's true.
She's going to say something that you could skirt the truth under oath, but not lie under oath.
Right.
So I took it as more of a denial. It's an interesting takeaway.
And then, Hillary was saying too that she denies knowing Epstein, ever meeting him. And I'm like, wait.
See, and that's why I say that's not dodging. That's just a straight up denial. I don't know the man. I've never met the man.
I swore. Okay. All right. I guess we're going to find out more.
Well, no, I know, but I find it interesting that we heard the same thing and heard it two different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. TSA agents and other Department of Homeland Security employees will begin to feel the pinch from a partial government shutdown today when they receive partial paychecks.
We're going to see.
Yeah.
We're going to learn. We're going to find out.
You know what gets me? And I mean, of course, you got to keep going. Operation is normal. They keep working.
Do they, though?
Very, very
if
few
Guarantee
employees.
Stop paying you today, would you keep coming to
Hell
work?
no.
Okay. So do you think they're going to keep coming to work?
Yeah, but I thought that they had a very small group of employees that still worked, even during a government
We're talking
shutdown.
about like all the ICE agents that are out there sweeping up.
Okay.
Yeah.
True. Very true. Okay, yeah, if Guarantee stop paying me. Nope.
Yeah.
All right. If you think college football is not sustainable the way it's headed, you're not alone. President Trump is inviting 4 major conference leaders to the White House to talk about it. All right, Brian, you're going to have to fill me in on this. The way it's headed.
NIL,
yeah,
transfer portal, re-recruiting an entire roster every year.
Okay, that's what they're talking
salary
about.
caps. We're looking at salary caps in the NCAA. The way we have, we have payrolls in the NCAA that are going to be the equivalent of NFL payrolls, because while you might have larger contracts in the NFL, you're going to have more contracts in the NCAA.
So things are about to get shaken.
Oh, and they already are. Look what
I know.
Look what LSU's got lined up for next year. I mean, with all the NIL dollars, and then you've got the revenue share, and then you're paying coaches and coaching staffs millions upon millions as well. Eventually you're gonna have to stop and say, wait, can we keep on doing this?
And what are we doing?
Right. Like it's not just ticket sales, TV dollars, merch,
endorsements.
It's a whole
that's a different can of worms. But
but it's a whole lot of all of it mixed into one.
Okay.
All right. We got sports coming up in a little bit. After that, Delta Utilities is kind of in the spotlight right now. I don't know if this is going to turn into a cranky old man discussion or not, but coming up later on this hour, Jim Ryan from ABC News is going to join us. And I mean, if I'm being honest, we've had Jim on a million times. I could see this getting very much back in my day. We used to get dressed up to get on an airplane.
All I know is my bill went from 80 to 300.
No, sorry, I moved on.
We moved on?
Yeah. Delta Utilities is one thing. This is something completely different. Where did it go? I'm gonna have to reprint it. I don't have it here. Basically, here it is. No, here it is. Pay a visit to any supermarket or discount store, and chances are fair to excellent that you'll see one or more fellow shoppers wearing the same thing they slept in the night before. The COVID pandemic had millions of Americans working from home in their pajamas, and now, 5 years later, society has gotten used to going out in public in their PJs. While celebrities like Selena Gomez and Zendaya have embraced the comfy fashion trend, some traditionalists are stepping up with a demand, for God's sake, put some clothes on.
I mean, have you gone to Walmart?
Yeah. So, and that's kind of where I'm going to go with this is like Jim's in Dallas. We're not necessarily, Midtown Manhattan over here. So this could very, very easily turn into, I'm a comfy guy.
Me too.
I'm a comfy guy, but there is a very clear line of like, did you not know you were leaving the house this morning? Like, I don't know how I managed to be comfy and judgy at the same time.
Are the ladies where they wear their bonnet to the store? I'm like, okay, at least get the hair a little bit going, before we go to the store. Like, full blown out the shower.
Than me. Like, okay,
I know, but they get full blown out the shower and then go to the store.
Right.
No makeup on.
Where was that step in between? Where was that step where you decided, I'm in public? Like the whole like people used to get dressed up on airplanes thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then one day they decided we had to take off our belts and take off our shoes to get on an airplane. I'm not.
They never went back.
Right. I'm not. You don't have to take off shoes anymore.
That's very true.
I learned that this year.
I'm flying next month.
Well,
I can't wait.
But like, as long as I've got requirements, plus if I'm sitting in the same place for 3 hours, I want to be comfortable as well.
I'm
I'm not
not
putting on a 3-piece suit to be uncomfortable for 3 hours. And just, that's a whole other thing. But this is like, okay, I'm going to the grocery store, or there was a woman at the gym yesterday in pajama pants. Yeah.
On a treadmill?
An elliptical.
Or lifting weights?
An elliptical. And I didn't know you could make an elliptical go slow. I thought those things were either fast or nothing. But yeah, no lifting
In
weights.
Her pajamas.
Pajama pants. Yep. All right. We're way long. 6:15, Talk 173 FM. Quick break. We got a lot to cover in sports next.
That was at the YMCA?
Club 4.
Damn. Hey, Alan, good morning. How cold is it up there? I think y'all still have snow coming, Alan. Ooh, 35. Goodness. Yeah, I don't think y'all are done with the snow. I think they're saying that up there, y'all have another month or two. Alan said it's 35 up there. Good night, Alan Dodson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he sent me another address on Twitter last night. I can't help but Lafayette, dude. I know Baton Rouge like the back of my hand. I don't know what's a good neighborhood. There's really, is there a lot of crime in Lafayette?
I live there. No, there's not a lot of crime.
All right.
North side, yeah.
Yeah.
The north side does, Alan, but
There you
no,
go.
I lived in Lafayette for 7 years. I mean, every area is decent for the most part in Lafayette. I would look at Broussard or Youngsville. Broussard, Youngsville. I lived in Lafayette proper when I lived there. So Verrat School Road, Ambassador Caffrey area. I mean, I moved in 2017, but Lafayette's still a good area to live. Even Crawley. Look at Crawley, Alan. This is James Dolan. James Dolan. Brian.
Jesus.
You all right?
Punches you in the chest when you walk in.
I know it's hot. I'm roasting. Landon's here. I'm gonna text Landon.
Yeah. It's 6:19 to Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. I tell you what we're gonna do. We ran long in that first segment. I don't really care. It was worthwhile. It's fun. As we were teeing up an interview that we got coming up with Jim Ryan from ABC News. So here's what we're gonna do. I want to make sure we stay on time. So we're gonna pivot our sports to our next segment. And then we'll just push everything back by one. I think we can squeeze Delta Utilities and a little bit of legislative preview into afternoons. While we have a second before we get you to the Fox Business Report, I do want to remind you it was senior night last night for LSU women's basketball. They did post up a win. We'll have a couple highlights for you after we check with the Fox Business Report. But there is one more LSU women's basketball game coming up on Sunday. Of course, your home for LSU women's basketball is right here on Talk 107.3 FM all season long. All right, it's 6:20. Here's the Fox Business Report.
Hey, sir. Yeah, show me. I got a little bit of time. You show me if you want to come.
Well, no, yeah, I'm coming too.
Okay, thank you, Landon. I'll let you know if we're still done. Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, now we don't know.
Well, yeah. Why didn't you do traffic yet? I don't think it did. It's 6:23. That's the one where I'm supposed to do traffic, so we didn't have time to do that.
Okay.
Come on back to me.
Yeah, let's just come on back. I'm more worried about the
I don't know. 6:23 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. All right, we got some traffic problems to talk about this morning. Coming into Baton Rouge right now, that's where the problem is. If you're coming into Baton Rouge from the west side, we're looking at pretty heavy delays on I-10 eastbound coming up on the Mississippi River Bridge. Now, once you get up over the bridge, it clears up just fine. It's the approach to it. So if you are, let's say, from 415 to Highway 1 is the worst of it, and then it starts to clear up after you're clear of Highway 1 as you make the upslope of the bridge. If I can get my... There we go. I just need to get logistically moved around to talk about the rest of it because we need to pivot over to I-12 westbound coming in from Livingston Parish. We're actually good there. Volume is a lot lighter than it is normally at this time. 10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish looks great as well. So once again, that problem on the interstate on 10 on the new bridge, the Horace Wilkinson Bridge, is the only thing really happening this morning. Surfer Street's two things to look out for. From about half an hour ago, there was a hit and run on Highland by Countryside Drive, and actually just popped up on the board. We have an accident South Sherwood at North Harrell's Ferry. So that is South Sherwood at North Harrell's Ferry. That would be on the north side of I-12. So I guess right by Popeyes. Be on the lookout for those two things from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. We keeping it moving right here on Talk 107.3. All right, so we had to bump our sports back to this segment. Let's get to it now, if we could. Want to start off with baseball. Got a 4-game set. We're playing 2 and 2. 2 against Dartmouth, 2 against Northeastern. How's that going to stack up? How's it looking? Well, Dartmouth tonight and Sunday, Northeastern Saturday and Monday, to get them all covered, to get them all run through the box. And the second-ranked baseball team, I feel bad for Dartmouth because LSU's coming off their first loss of the season. So you hate to be both a non-conference game and a get-right game. But Coach Jay Johnson, as we're coming into this game, actually, you know what? We haven't seen Chris Stanfield a whole lot because he's been hurt. What's the latest on him? Cut 17, please.
Well, this weekend, but my hope is by
Wait,
next
what did he say?
weekend I don't think hitting is on the table this weekend, but my hope is by next weekend that we're back. He'll be back in the mix as soon as he's able to play at full strength. And if there's other things we can do before then without being at full strength, then he'll do those things because he obviously brings a lot to the table.
I wouldn't bother. I want him for conference play, not non-conference play. There shouldn't be a rush there. Same thing with Cade Beatty. The sophomore catcher left yesterday or Tuesday's game with a foot injury. Cade actually is going to play this weekend. He's fine. I just look at any of these guys. Why push it, right? By the way, even without Stanfield, LSU is posting up runs, 11.4 runs per game. Johnson says multiple players have been doing a great job stepping up and producing in Stanfield's absence.
We have other options. I think the combination of John Pearson and Braden Simpson has been productive in his absence. I think Mason Braun is going to be a great player here. I was telling you guys that before the year started. So Omar, getting him extra time is really important. He's going to be a great player
here. Senior first baseman Zach York, he's so good. And quite honestly, drawing a lot of attention just off of his mere size. He's a very, very large individual. York is tied for the most home runs on the team with 4. Johnson says he hasn't even reached his full potential yet.
Executed what we want him to do, and we're still working on some things. We made some adjustments literally the week the season started based on some things we saw in the preseason. He's taken to them very well. And there's still some things that we feel like are out there, which is awesome to say for a guy. I think he's leading our team in homers and probably up there on on-base percentage. So he's just a baseball player and just fits our deal really, really well.
Breland, did I send you the basketball highlights?
I was about to text you and say I do not have them.
Okay, let's do this then. We're going to
send
do
them
this
to me and I'll hurry up. And
we will do this in real time. And I'll just tell you right now, we're looking for 3.6 and 3.7.
Got it.
All right, they are on their way. Yeah, I was looking through my sent folder and didn't see that there.
I was panicking.
So it's a sloppy Friday over here. I'm not making excuses, and by the way, shout out to Landon, who runs our facilities here. It is so much better now.
Right.
All right.
It's on me too. I got sidetracked.
No. You can't edit something that you don't have. LSU women's basketball had senior night last night. Big night for 3 seniors being celebrated, and a big night for 3 seniors being celebrated, and they showed it on the court as well. It was a battle throughout the first half specifically. LSU actually needed a last-second layup, I think by Michaela Williams. It was either by Michaela Williams it was Williams hit the last-second layup to put LSU up 43-42 going into the half. They really separated in the second half, specifically in the third quarter. The third quarter was a 27-17 differential. And I one of the things that I absolutely love about this team is the fact that when they hit you quick. You can be sitting there and it's tied up, and then if you take a sip of your cold beer and eat a nacho or two, you look up again and LSU's been on a 9-point run in 3 seconds. That's hyperbole, obviously, but they make it happen fast. For example, I want to say it was either a 5 or 7 point lead in the third quarter, and then start with 3.6, and then this happened.
Williams fires it left corner. Flaugier 4-3, and it's good!
All right.
Just what the doctor ordered.
And that'll bring the crowd to its feet. It is 64-52 LSU.
Sorry, there were two baskets before that. Then that one, and then immediately, and I mean immediately, before the ball wasn't even back up the floor yet, and then this happened.
Caldo behind her back dribble, and it's knocked away by Flauget, who got it. Flauget one-on-one to the bucket. Layup is good. Flauget finishes after the steal, and it's an 11-point game again.
That's crazy. I mean, crazy how quickly that happened.
I got emotional last night. Yeah, watching the game.
So I was at the gym during most of the game. So they had it on the big screens over by the dumbbells, but like if I'm on the treadmill, my back is to it. So I had Patrick Wright and Shada Williams on the call on the app right there. So of course, all your LSU women's basketball is available right here on Talk 107.3 FM. I'm going to need you to count me down because I don't have a clock in front of me.
We got to get to news.
Okay.
Bless Landon. Good morning, my Dave. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Dave, have you gotten snow since you've been up there? Well, I'm having difficulty paying my bill.
Bible 1, Landry 1, and I believe it's Landry 4 in today's folder.
All of them?
Yeah. 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 And I'm going to do that before I do Delta. Yeah, I might push Delta Utilities back to 7:55 just so we stay on time because I know I got to be out on time to get to Jim Ryan. And good morning, Christy. Welcome in, Boo. We're going to start with Weibel. And I'm going to stop you in the middle of the soundbite. And then I'm going to, we're going to stop in the middle of the soundbite, and then we're going to rewind the clock. So we're going to start it over again. Yeah. Now, the part that we have to be careful about is not to over adjust that because that AC will freeze up. And then we're effed. Yeah. .637 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Going to be a busy weekend on campus, specifically out at Alec Box Stadium as the LSU baseball Tigers have a 4-game set, 2 games versus Dartmouth, 2 games versus Northeastern. If you are doing a little tailgating anytime this weekend and you find, hey, we ran out of whatever you might have run out of, swing on by Melerine. They are the closest grocery store to Alec Box Stadium. They're also the closest grocery store to Tiger Park. And well, that actually matters too, because told you about LSU baseball, did not tell you about LSU softball, who's got, it looks like 2 teams coming to town as well. Wow. Tonight, 6:30 p.m., LSU's hosting Memphis. Tomorrow it's Iowa. Tomorrow and Saturday. I'm sorry. Tomorrow is Saturday. Tomorrow they've got a doubleheader versus Iowa and Memphis. So 2 games versus Memphis, 1 game versus Iowa over there at Tiger Park. Either way, your closest grocery store to refill on that tailgate is Methurns. And if you download the Methurns Rewards app, you're earning cash towards more groceries every time you shop at Methurns. All right, we knew one of the big themes of this legislative session was going to be workforce and workforce development. If we're seeing Susan Bourgeois announcing more jobs coming to Louisiana, we have to make sure that we have the people to fill those jobs. I asked State Representative Kim Carver yesterday, and we might get to this later on in the show, but it won't be in this segment. I asked him yesterday about the balance we're going to have to work between educating Louisianans to make sure we have Louisianans in these jobs, but also, what about that brain drain? Can we start bringing Louisianans back or recruiting others from other states to come here as well? I would like to see our population numbers beefed up a little bit. I would like to have that 7th congressional district once again. We'll get to that at another time. Right now, though, we know that the workforce development aspect of this legislative session is going to be huge. John Weibel talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, I think you're going to see several pieces all really working together. I know for myself, I have a couple of pieces. The governor signed an executive order during Washington Mardi Gras that really helped to align all of the workforce development boards around the state so that we can have a coordinated effort. This was a result of a federal waiver. So I'm going to codify that into law.
Tell you what, let's pause right there on John Weibel. We'll get back to him in just a minute. But yes, the governor did sign an executive order up at Washington Mardi Gras, stopped on this show to talk about it after the fact. Landry, cut one, if you don't mind. What exactly did his executive order spell out?
Well, first of all, our announcement last week was an executive order to modernize Louisiana's workforce system for this new era of growth. And what it does is it shifts dollars from bureaucracy to actually training. It gives us the ability to respond faster to what employers demand in work skills. It prioritizes credentials that lead to real jobs and real wages. Again, part of the problem we've had is that we haven't been able to match the skills with the jobs, or we just haven't had the jobs.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like trying to put the cart before the horse. And one of the things that I saw, Brian, which was really disappointing and it left an imprint on me, was in the 90s when I was an economic development director, and we had just landed a Baker Hughes consolidation in oil and gas in Broussard, and we won. We were like, oh, yeah, we were fist pumping. We're like, this is great, high fiving. And then NAFTA basically was passed, and it destroyed the textile industry across many of the rural small towns in Louisiana. Basically, they unbolted all of those textile machines and sent them to Latin America, supposedly to create stability in Latin America, only to find out that those millions of people ended up coming across the border illegally. You see the mess we ended up with. And so we're not able to do when those kind of shocks occurred in our economy was to be able to match skills with work that was available, with jobs that were available. Today, we're in this unbelievable growth phase. We've got over 124,000 new job opportunities. And the thing that keeps me up at night is making sure that we can fill them all.
Okay. But he did it via executive order. So I asked the follow-up question in the same interview. I said, Governor, can you even do that by executive order? Wouldn't you need the legislature to go ahead and codify that? To which his answer, and bear in mind, this was almost a full month ago this interview happened. Bear in mind, some time has passed and they've done some research since then. But that's what the governor at the time said they were looking into. Cut 4.
That's what we're trying to sort through right now. In fact, we may be able to do this simply by executive order and a waiver from the federal government, which we are anticipating. And I think that those two things, once they happen and it settles out, we'll determine whether or not we have to adjust the statutes or the laws. But I'll tell you something else that's missing too. Look,
wait, I'm sorry. He kept
to head the Louisiana Community and Technical School System.
Okay. You cut it right there. I knew that cut had more than we needed. All right. So he was looking into it at the time. He says he thinks they could codify it without the legislative approval. My whole take at the time, and it remains the same, was why wouldn't you want the legislature to be in lockstep with you on this one? You are going to get overwhelming amounts of support and applause and maybe even a parade up River Road when you're talking workforce legislation this time around, when you're talking about putting jobs, bringing Louisianans to the jobs that are out there. This is going to be overwhelmingly popular. That was my idea. That was my take. Well, talked to Dr. John Weibel yesterday, state rep from up Washington Parish Way. And now let's go back to the beginning of the Weibel cut. So we have the whole thing. All right, here you go.
Yeah, I think you're going to see several pieces all really working together. I know for myself, I have a couple of pieces. The governor signed an executive order during Washington Mardi Gras that really helped to align all of the workforce development boards around the state so that we can have a coordinated effort. This was a result of a federal waiver. So I'm going to codify that into law. I just think this is a huge step forward for us. We have it's a best case scenario where you have local input, local guidance, but you have a coordinated statewide plan to train and upskill our people across the state in the careers and industries, Brian, that matter the most, where all the jobs are coming. I think that's a really important piece. I feel like another piece that fits in with workforce is a bill that I have that addresses TOPS. And that bill will mirror what was federal legislation in the Big Beautiful Bill addressing the use of taxpayer dollars to fund students who are seeking degrees, associate degrees, certificates, certifications, what have you. And simply what that's going to do is it's going to guide those public taxpayer dollars into fields of studies, majors, concentrations, certifications, where actually the jobs and the demand and the wages are. So I think those are two important pieces for us going forward.
All right, I'm going to jump in right there. That was State Representative John Weibel yesterday, kind of echoing the sentiments that, yeah, why wouldn't the governor just hand it off to the legislature? Executive orders are great. Unanimous consent is even better. Executive orders are great. Consensus building is even better. So I like that. That is where this looks like it's headed. And it's kind of, there's been a running theme where there's kind of the sentiment of, we're seeing with this, and there's still a freshman class, even though they've had 15,000 sessions already, this freshman class building on consensus. Start with where we agree and then push forward from there. Start with where everyone's on the same page, where everyone's aligned, and then you start to edge forward from there. If y'all listen to the Moon Griffon show, you know he hates the term step in the right direction. Well, what this freshman class is able to build off of, and by the way, shout out to every class before them who has, taken their energy and taken it miles down the road. But when you can start with consensus and move forward, you can get things done. You can have a little positivity in our state government. Can you imagine a world where we have positivity towards our state government because they're netting results? I'm here for it. John Weibel talked about that bill addressing TOPS. He's going to have an uphill battle on that one. That is going to be a completely separate segment. Not even today, but we're going to get into it. Basically, looking to make sure kids that are going to college know that there are jobs on the backside and they're working towards those jobs, whether they're at a 4-year school, a 2-year school, LCTCS, whatever the case. So we're going to break it here. Come back. We got ABC News' Jim Ryan next. So I posted on my personal Facebook yesterday. Okay. I hereby pledge my full political allegiance to whichever party puts a stop to spam calls. And I'm just having some fun because the spam calls are frustrating. And I got, 4 calls back to back to back to back. That's what, and mine come from all over the place. Yes, some of them look like they're local and whatnot. A lot of them are about Medicare. And it's like, if you have Medicare's part 1 and 2, go ahead and press 1 now to whatever. So I'll press 1 and ask them to take me off the list. I'm on the National Do Not Call registry. That apparently doesn't mean shit. But I posted it just so everybody could kind of commiserate, And most people did. Michelle Southern sounded off. She says, I know. And carriers are trying to help with spam filters, but all it does is block out legit and important calls. Yeah, right? If you block a number and it turns out that number is connected to somebody, that's going to happen. But, a number of comments. Stephanie says it's ridiculous. Brian says, well, no, he talks about a personal story about his pledging allegiance to a certain particular party. Brooks says, me too. Hail the robocall killer party. A lot of people take the idea and lose the fun in it. Talk about, they'll never get it done. Politicians are always blowhards, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, this was just for fun. Anna Johnson, who's going to join us next week, says, Dixon McMaking, why don't you take this on? Mike Bayham says, I might be able to do something about this. So, a couple state rep involvement, just having fun there, right? Well, then Jeff Rushing says, Letlow and Cassidy can rot in hell.
Whoa, that went.
Right? I'm just like, oh, yeah, John says I've had 5 so far today. Amber says 3 a day, especially about Medicare. Like, we're all just commiserating here. We're all just commiserating here. And then, Jeff's gonna I'll see you in hell, you bastard. Jeez, settle the bleep down, my man.
Who's that? That's your buddy?
Jeff? No, well, I've met him a couple times. He's a regular listener, but good Lord, man.
Brian.
Letlow and not Cass. I understand. Like everybody's been mad at Cass. Yeah. Whoo.
You know, my dad called me yesterday. He goes, I keep hearing all these advertisements for liberal Letlow, and he's not real big on politics. And he's like, I thought she's Republican. I'm like, I know.
Your money now.
It's real.
Okay.
It's on.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm like, I know. And he's not a big political man. He doesn't listen to news talk, none of that. But he said the same thing. He's like, I haven't heard anything from her camp.
That's right. Yeah. She's losing the middle every day.
Talk 107.3. Hey, good morning. We're going to come to you in about a minute and 30 seconds, okay? Okay. Yes, it's Brian. Okay. Is it Jim or Tim?
Jim. 652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. So every once in a while I stumble across a story that I just need more on. And this is one of those stories coming to us from ABC. Jim Ryan, he's been on the show a whole bunch as ABC News correspondent. He's over there in Dallas. And when the email came out, it says, pay a visit to any supermarket or discount store. Chances are fair to excellent. You've seen one or more fellow shoppers wearing the same thing they slept in the night before. And it turns out this is kind of a COVID spillover. So I needed more on this story. Jim Ryan is with us now. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, Brian. Yeah, and I was looking around to see how old this debate is. I found notes coming from 2012. There was the commissioner, in fact, Cato Parrish, who was saying, you know what? We need to ban people walking around in pajamas in public. He had enough of it and had a lot to say about it. Never did go anywhere. But yeah, this is not something that just came about from the pandemic. This has been talked about for years and years before that, Brian.
So I would date it back to, or at least when it comes to flying, I would date it back to 9/11 when we had to change the way we flew. Everybody had to take off their belt, take off their shoes. Well, I'm going to wear pants that have a waistband and shoes that slip on and off easy. That was kind of like the downturn of getting dressed up to go out, and it's just sort of continued from there.
Yeah, maybe sort of an evolution, I guess. Okay, I'm going to wear pants that don't have a belt. I'm going to wear some slip-ons, and then next thing you know, you're wearing sweatpants. Next thing you know, you're wearing pajamas and slippers.
Exactly. It's like you see people out all the time, and it's like, did you leave on accident? I mean, did you not know you were leaving the house this morning? It gets to be, and look, I'll be honest about it, Jim. I can turn into a cranky old man pretty quickly, right? I can turn into a whole back in my day sort of scenario, right?
Right, yeah, and it may be a generational thing. I think probably people 25 and under think that's okay, fine. Wear what you want out in public as long as you're covered up and comfortable. Folks 50 and up maybe are saying that's no. It's a no. Tampa International Airport kind of reignited the whole debate yesterday, Brian. Hosting on X quote, "We've seen enough. We've had enough. It's time to ban pajamas at Tampa International Airport." It went on from there. That posting, as of this morning, has gotten 8 million views with 5,000 comments and 31,000 likes. You know, and a lot of those comments, of course, were negative comments. I'm going to wear what I want out in public. I don't care. I don't care what people say. I'm going to wear this today. Well, Tampa International Airport later revised that and admitted this was just a joke. We're not really banning pajamas at the airport. But yeah, I think you've seen a lot of backlash in both directions now.
Well, because when the waters get so muddied, it becomes difficult to determine what you can and can't wear somewhere in particular. And then you'll have a scenario where you do need to kick somebody out of a restaurant. You do need to remove someone from your premises, but the lines have been so blurred that the business owner is going to come across like the jerk.
Well, that's true, yeah, and they have a right, I suppose. If you have a right to refuse service to anybody for pretty much any reason, and certainly attire will be one reason to expel.
Exactly. I mean, we've seen it before. You know, there are restaurants that require a jacket to go in, and I mean, those are diminishing.
Right. Well, they are.
Walk me through this, because when I asked to have you on the show, I know that you are one of the best, if not the best, at advancing the story. So tell me where this is headed next.
Yeah.
Are we looking at potential, you know, like you mentioned Caddo Parish a little while ago, are we looking at potential laws that could be written to help get the genie back in the bottle, or at least get the genie's pants on?
Are you there?
Oh, did you cut out?
You did. Yeah, I'm here though.
Okay. So we're talking about advancing the story, which is my question to you is, what's next? Are we you mentioned Caddo Parish. Are we looking at potential legislation in the future that could, if not get the genie back in the bottle, give the genie something better to wear? Nah, he's gone. That was a struggle. All right, drop him on hold and see if he's there. I don't think he is, though. Jim Ryan cut out of the best part of it. Dadgummit. Tell you what. Nah, if he hasn't answered after the third one, just hang up, because he might be trying to get back in on the line. If not, no big deal. We were having some fun with it. But the follow-up question was about, is there potential legislation? And I don't know that you can get the genie back in the bottle on this one. I don't know that the horse goes back in the barn. Because how do you write that law without stepping on, well, first of all, without sounding like a what hole. But secondly, how do you write that law to, walk yourself through every, I don't know, would that be a First Amendment right? I'm trying to think about what constitutionally, where are you protected on this? Is it a freedom of expression? Is that where, and look, I'm spitballing here. I'm walking through this in real time because Jim was going to have the answer and his cell phone died. But would it be a freedom of expression thing? Would it be up to the individual business owner, a whole no shirt, no shoes, no service thing? Can you even do that anymore? Because if it's not a freedom of expression thing, how about a cultural thing based off of age? And we've seen what discriminating against someone's culture can do. I don't know. This feels like a job for Facebook. This feels like a job for Facebook to answer. This is a Facebook question. So I'll tell you what. We're on Facebook Live every single day, courtesy of the folks over at Lake Urgent Care. As we get to news here at the top of the hour, let's dive into this a little bit further. Can you undo this? Am I just being a crotchety old man? Is this something that's actually worth worrying about? I've noticed it. You've noticed it. ABC News' Jim Ryan has noticed it. Is it getting worse, or are we just getting older? We got news coming up in just a minute. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. Speaking of getting older, they've been around since 1897. I tell you what, that's the next step, right? Do you want to walk into your bank and see your banker wearing pajama pants? Just say juicy across the rear end? No, you don't want that. You want a professional. You want professional and you want service. That's why you have a banker and not just a bank. Landmark Bank, been around since 1897 as a community bank, here to serve you specifically in your community. Which community are we talking about here? Visit landmarkbankla.com. Hit the About Us tab. You will find locations and hours. And it's important that you find the locations and hours because they do serve their specific communities. So if you are where they are, could not recommend them any more highly. Landmarkbankla.com. Whether you're talking about your personal banking, whether you're talking about your professional banking, Whether you're talking about where you want your business to be in 5 years or when you want to retire down the road, landmarkbankla.com. ABC News coming up in about 10 seconds from right now. On the back end of that, we'll have top stories and trending. And then 7:15, James Danley, DOE's Deputy Secretary, joins us. But like you just
Okay, I'm sorry, Brian. God. Okay, all right, ignore that. Back on the floor. Oh, good Lord. I was just laid off with severance. and she knocked on the door, and I'm like, Murphy and Hudson want to speak with you. And then he fucking walked me out. Like, I was personally walked out. I couldn't grab my shit. I'm like a freaking criminal. I'm like, can I get my purse at least? And they're like, yeah, you can grab your purse. Fuck y'all. Michelle posted something on Eagles social. Yeah.
.705 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. Starting off the second hour at 66 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. Is it time for your IT to hit a 180? Visit 180pros.com. Busy hour this hour. The U.S. Department of Energy's Deputy Secretary is going to join us in our next segment. James Danby, looking forward to this. He was in town yesterday, opening up a new power plant on, well, you know what? I'm going to tell you about that in top story. So let's just get to it right now. Liz Murrell's office, the Louisiana AG's office, has settled with the Vanguard Group, where the investment firm agrees to pay Louisiana and other states nearly $30 million in connection with alleged market manipulation of the coal industry. According to the AG's office, Louisiana was one of 14 states to file suit against Vanguard and other investment firms, BlackRock, State Street. This was back in 2024. The suit alleged that the triumvirate used ownership stakes in coal producers to, quote, manipulate the price of coal and gain undue profits by decreasing coal production under the guise of green policies. 35-year-old Emily Kane was identified as the person who died after swimming in a pond at Breck's Blackwater Conservation Area over in Central. It has been noted the park was closed at the time of the incident. Also, while the final autopsy report is pending, officials do believe the death was suspected to be the result of foul play. This is the one we're talking about, and we'll be talking about in our next segment. A federal energy official and others celebrated the opening of a new power plant in Plaquemine yesterday. James Danley, the U.S. Deputy Secretary of Energy, was on hand as the 700-megawatt Magnolia Power Generating Station joined the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator, which controls power distribution through 15 states from Louisiana and Texas, all the way up to Canada, actually. Danley will join us at 7:15 to talk about it. 3 juveniles, Kane Evans, Floyd Smith, and Caden Grayer, are set to be tried as adults after a shooting that left a 17-year-old dead and another person injured. The shooting happened back on January 10th. LSU's Board of Supervisors today will consider whether the state's flagship university will require most incoming freshmen to submit standardized test scores starting in summer of 2027. The move comes 5 years after the Board of Supervisors said would-be students could apply without test scores, but in that time, LSU officials say they have found students who applied without the test scores had lower retention rates and lower GPAs.
Well, former President Bill Clinton is scheduled to be deposed by the House Oversight Committee in Chappaqua, New York, as part of the committee's investigation into convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, it's going to be dodgy, to say the least.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand Hillary, claiming she knew nothing, saw nothing, never met him, the whole works.
See, I felt she was dodging. And then you felt she was saying.
But she straight up said, I've never met the man.
Right.
I've never met the man. I've never been on the plane. I've never, you don't say it that definitively unless you're saying it that definitively.
And you mean it.
Well, yeah, because you're under oath. I mean, the consequences of lying under oath, if she gets caught later on lying under oath, that's going to be very, very bad. Very bad for her.
Okay.
So
now I see it from your point of view.
Yeah.
I felt she was dodging, but now I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you don't try to skirt the whole thing. So
TSA agents and other Department of Homeland Security employees will begin to feel the pinch from a partial government shutdown today when they receive partial paychecks.
Partial paychecks.
Not the
So
whole
they're getting
thing. Here's
some
a
of
dollar.
them. Yeah.
I'm joking, but
Yeah, you almost got it. I'm curious to see where this heads because they were all given fat bonuses. They're talking about the ICE agents that are doing all the
wasn't it
roundups
back in
and everything.
December or something?
It was whenever they signed up. I
Yeah.
mean, but there was a heavy radio and TV
I remember that.
campaign, and a whole bunch of people signed up, so they all got really fat bonuses. I'm curious to see if they try to hold out and keep working, or if they just pack up and go home.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. This is
starting today.
Yeah.
We'll begin to feel the okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you think college football is not sustainable the way it's headed, you're not alone. President Trump is inviting 4 major conference leaders to the White House to talk about it.
So where was that story? I have that one somewhere over here. I have a little more extension on that story over here.
I was going to say elaborate a little bit for me.
Yeah. Well, so talk about NIL, talk about revenue sharing, talk about the exorbitant salaries of the coaches, talk about just the exorbitance of the whole thing. I mean, you look at like what NIL budgets are in the Southeastern Conference, look at the disparity between the Power 4 and the group of 6 or group of 5, whatever. Like when you start to look at how college is separating itself more and more and more, is that sustainable as a league? Are we going to see college football will itself down to like 50 teams and basically become a second NFL? Do we want that?
Okay.
Do you want a world where anything that isn't the Big Ten or the SEC just goes and starts another league? So you've got college football, you've got this in-between thing, and then you've got the NFL.
So this is going to be a huge conversation, the way it's headed. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think on the one hand, I don't know if you could stop the inevitable. And then on the other hand, I don't know if you want the inevitable. Like long term. And the part of this that we have to remember here in Louisiana is we're not the big boys here. We feel like the big boys because we've got titles. We've got one of the best coaches out there. We've got a top-notch roster. We got a top-notch recruiting class. We've got a top-notch talent base within the state. But what we don't have is those billionaire on billionaire donors. We don't have
the TAF and the.
Well, yeah, we've got TAF and we've got a handful. We don't have the depth and donation that others have. So if we want to continue down this arms race that is college football, I don't know that we come out on top.
Ooh, it'll get interesting.
Well, all right. Got to remind you about the folks at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com is their website. FlyBTR.com. As you're making your travel plans, please keep the Baton Rouge Metro Airport in mind if you don't mind. FlyBTR.com. When you hit up the website, get a look at the flights that are available. And get a look at some of the offers and deals that they have if you want to continue to make other plans while you're there. For example, book your hotel room right from the website. Book other travel reservations right from the website. Learn about the touchless parking system that they've got going on, and think about that when you make your flight plans, when you make your travel plans. Is you're not hauling an hour down the road and an hour back. God, an hour back is so tough. FlyBTR.com. We have a fantastic airport right here in our own backyard. Let's use it. FlyBTR.com. All right. Was this?
Oh, do you want me to even post that Jim interview? Okay, that's what I thought. Hey, good morning.
cheese, and that was a short break.
Huh?
That was a short break.
Oh, I know. I was like, Brian.
Sorry. Yeah, I need him because I took stairs.
I know. Hold on, let me put his name in.
7:15. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Let's talk energy, folks. Been looking forward to this one for a little bit, a couple days now. Energy Deputy Secretary James P. Danley delivered remarks yesterday and holding a press conference after touring the Magnolia Power Generating Station in Plaquemine. He joins us now. Deputy Secretary, how are you this morning?
I'm great, thank you.
Glad to have you on today. We got a lot of ground to cover, so let's go ahead and start off with yesterday's events. Walk me through the tour, walk me through what you saw, and give us the review.
Well, I'll say primarily what we saw was a beautiful, brand new, high-efficiency gas generating station that has been commissioned very recently and is now running. In fact, during the event and the ribbon cutting, and during the press conference, you could hear the thing humming along in the background, producing 700 megawatts of reliable and affordable power. And I'll tell you, the station came online just in time, right at the right time.
Why is it the right time?
Well, because we have escalating electricity demand all over the country, and the need to get new generation online as quickly as possible is one of the main objectives of the Department of Energy right now, to ensure affordability for American ratepayers.
James Danley, Deputy Secretary for the Department of Energy, is our guest. Talking a little bit about putting that Magnolia Power Generating Station online over in Plaquemine. Keeping with that and the growth in demand here, we've seen two, now a third big data center being added in Louisiana. That's just one example of where energy demand is increasing. Do we look like we're on pace to keep up with it? I mean, you use the phrase just in time. Are we going to stay just in time, or are we going to fall behind?
So the objective here is to ensure that you always have enough generation to meet the load that comes online, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for years, the United States had followed some very bad energy policies in which reliable and affordable baseload generation was being replaced broadly by less reliable intermittent resources that themselves were expensive because they didn't produce all the time. You have to overbuild because it only runs when the sun is shining and the wind is blowing, and you have to build a lot of transmission, which the ratepayers have to pay for. We are doing everything that we can to go back to common sense energy policies in which we add generation that is reliable and dispatchable to the bulk power system.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many people who are concerned that the more data centers come online, the higher rates are going to go. And there's an intuitive appeal to that argument, of course, because you're thinking Econ 101, right? More demand, higher prices. But in reality, the best way that you can bring down electric costs to the ratepayer is to have as much load as possible, as much of the actual users of electricity as possible out there to spread the fixed system cost to lower prices,
mm-hmm.
and build generation as that demand comes online. And so do I think we're going to meet the moment here? I certainly do. The entire purpose of the Department of Energy's efforts when it comes to the electric sector, I mean, we have a lot of different subjects we cover, but when it comes to electricity, is to get the most generation online as quickly as possible, and to further enhance the transmission system to ensure reliability.
James Danley's our guest. He's the Deputy Secretary for Energy for the United States. Was in town yesterday. Let's talk a little bit about. You mentioned how policy made its way down the wrong path. I want to continue down that road of conversation here. Are we giving up the ghost on other forms of energy, or are we back to the drawing board to say it's time to start learning how to maximize those before reintroducing them to the public?
So I will say that President Trump, when he took office in this term, immediately issued a series of executive orders that in one instance declared that we're in a national energy emergency, which we absolutely are because of this rising demand and the bad policies of the past, and also at the same time directing various different efforts within the energy sector and they cover a group of different subjects. For example, nuclear energy, trying to kickstart another, a nuclear renaissance for America, so that we can have yet another source of affordable, reliable, secure electricity.
Mm-hmm.
When you ask have we given up the ghost, I mean, the issue here is that you cannot run a utility system successfully unless you plan the entire system to serve the peak load day. That is either the hottest day in the summer or the coldest day in the winter.
Right.
You have to design the entire utility system so that at that time you can be assured that there will be sufficient generation to meet all of the demand from every source throughout the entire grid. And when you build hundreds of billions of dollars worth of intermittent resources like wind and solar that either work only some of the time, or even more, predictably half the day they're not running, you cannot operate a utility system if you cannot be certain that a huge chunk of the generation may not show up when it comes, when the time comes. So as an example, we had this recent winter storm. And if you look at, for example, New England, which has a very, very constrained electric system, constrained by fuel scarcity,
mm-hmm.
There were periods, for most of the cold period, they were mostly burning oil and natural gas. There was also some nuclear from legacy nuclear plants.
Mm-hmm.
And that's despite the multiple billions of dollars of investment that the Northeast as a region had put into wind and solar, which effectively didn't show up. In fact, during peak days, all of the wind and solar amounted to a fraction of a percent of the entire capacity that was being delivered. And instead, during some days, and I know this is hard to believe, there was more trash being burned for electricity than wind or solar being produced. So you have to plan a system for that peak demand day. And so what I'm saying is President Trump very wisely has directed the Department of Energy to go back to the well understood, tried and true mechanisms of having dispatchable baseload power and then a mixture of gas peakers and so forth in order to meet momentary fluctuations. But we're going back to what we've known has always worked, and which
mm-hmm.
is the most affordable source of electricity for ratepayers.
The all of the above phrase that was buzzing around for a little bit, is that gone? Because look, and I'm not looking to run anybody's power off of something that is not ready for prime time, to be sure, but I'm also not looking to push all of our chips in one direction either. So is that all of the above phrase going to come back around?
So I am not Nostradamus. I can't predict exactly what's going to happen down the road.
Understood.
But certainly, look, you can make an argument that there are cases in which solar really does make sense. You can use it for fuel shifting. That is to say, during some periods, you're able to not use the fuel that's an expensive marginal cost input to other generators.
Mm-hmm.
And we see utilities rationally employ it in relatively low quantities to perform that. It's sort of an efficient portfolio standard of utility design. You get certain benefits from different types of generators. Now, the one thing you can't do, though, is have a system that's 95% wind and solar, if for nothing else, because the cost of the batteries you would have to back it up would be absolutely incredible. And then on top of that, the cost of the transmission, which the ratepayers would have to pay for to get these remotely located, massive, huge, land-intensive facilities that are far, far away from the consumer, that would be expensive. And so we have to remember, we have two objectives in the utility system. We want to make it cheap as possible. Well, let's not say cheap, that's a bit pejorative, but we want to make it affordable as we can, and we want to make it as reliable as we can. And when you say how you're going to structure your generation portfolio, each generator has a different operating characteristic. It has different, constraints under which it operates. It has different costs to run, marginal costs. And you need to find the best balance of those things in order to make sure that you deliver value to the ratepayers who ultimately shoulder the cost of the entire system.
U.S. Deputy Secretary of Energy James Danley is our guest, was in Plaquemine yesterday, talking about the Magnolia Power Generating Station. I want to pivot off of Magnolia, Deputy Secretary Danley, and talk about Louisiana as a whole, if we could. Because like you said, y'all wear a lot of hats when it comes to energy. Energy is defined as a number of different things, whether you talk about turning the lights on when you walk in a room or starting your car or starting a car halfway around the world. How is Louisiana looking right now when it comes to our role in America's energy dominance?
The only word I can use is fantastic. The Louisiana is one of the most important states in America for energy. Both for oil and natural gas, especially when it comes to natural gas exports. The state has had a long history of very successful energy endeavors, and certainly has been an excellent partner to the department in advancing policies, wise, thoughtful, common sense policies as much as possible. And the promise that the United States has to further offer, especially LNG as a major energy source to our friends and allies around the world. It's a geostrategic benefit that the United States enjoys due to the natural abundance of gas and the let's say cleverness and inventiveness that we've had in America in figuring out more efficient and less expensive ways to produce natural gas. Mm-hmm. And so Louisiana has been one of the states at the forefront of LNG.
The LNG aspect of this, I mean, we've, traditional, drilling out of the Gulf and whatnot, we've been good at for some time. The LNG into this, I'm seeing the growth on it, and I'm just, it's hard to wrap your mind around just how much demand there is worldwide. That's the part that I think I keep getting stuck on, is like, my word, we're doing so much, and yet we're only one piece of the puzzle.
Yes, we have gone in basically the blink of an eye to being an LNG importer to now an LNG exporter with an absolutely vast quantity of LNG exported around the world. There is a demand universally for American LNG. Mm-hmm. And part of this is because the reality is, without energy in abundance and affordably, people's lives are materially worse off. And American LNG is so efficiently produced that even given the additional expense of liquefaction and shipment, it is still a value proposition to many overseas off-takers, because they need to have that readily available and easily employable energy in large quantities. And the upward trend has not ended. We are going to be practically doubling our total LNG export capacity in the United States over the next, 4 years. Don't hold me to an exact deadline, but very, very soon we're going to be doubling it yet again. And we are finding that fairly broadly there is demand around the world for it. And think about the fact that the alternative here is energy poverty in foreign countries. That is, our overseas recipients would otherwise have to either use more expensive fuel that they source from somewhere else, or other types of fuel that don't have the benefits that natural gas have.
We got just a couple minutes here left with James Danley. It's just occurring to me, Deputy Secretary, that with you being in Plaquemine yesterday, you were right there on Highway 1. You were just a half an hour from the boyhood home of your predecessor, Dan Burdett. We got to get you in Louisiana.
You know what? I actually, you mentioned that. I didn't think about that. That's right. I forgot.
I mean, you were true. Right there, right? I mean, he grew up right down the road in Pankerville, Napoleonville, whichever one you want to call it. But yeah, you were right there. You could have knocked on his old house.
I could have. I will admit that in the current role I have, my schedule is sometimes a little bit tight, so I'm not sure I would have had time. But I appreciate you bringing that up. That's fun.
We next time you see Dan, just mention you were in Plaquemine, and he'll.
I will do. I intend to do that.
Say he used to come on the show a lot. Obviously, having a local in that post, we would lean on him a lot. And I'm gonna lean on you a lot as well, because with our role being what it is on a national and, for that matter, international scale. I want to hear from you as often as is humanly possible. I will ask this. Did you get a chance to eat while you were in town? I mean, at least come to Louisiana and get the food.
Yes. After the press conference, they did, in fact, there was a lunch before the tour of the plant. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy to report that in addition to inaugurating a 700 megawatt natural gas generator, we also had some pretty good chicken.
Gotta love it. You can see why we're less productive in the afternoons, to be sure. He's Energy Deputy Secretary James Danley. Man, we greatly appreciate the time. Couldn't be more proud to have you down here for the visit, and I love the report card as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I almost forgot about that. My God, it popped in my head midway through the interview. We've had a deputy secretary, actually a secretary from right here in town. So Shout out to Dan Buriette. He used to come on all the time, and it was Trump's first term. So it's been a minute. 7:30 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We are going to pivot greatly for our next segment, going from talking energy to talking about health. The folks from the Pennington Biomedical Research Center are in the house. They're going to hop over in studio coming up right after we check news, traffic, and weather. We're going to start off nationally with ABC. We'll check our local news. Like we said, Ray will have traffic. We'll have your forecast, and then we'll be right back at it on Talk 107.3. Michelle sent out a text as well. I hate the least favorite part of the job. Yeah. Huh? Well, that's Clear Channel.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Well, and I told you how it happened. Short story was Murphy was like, he announced in the product team, he's like, they're flying us out to New York to see all this new technology, all the senior vice presidents.
Yeah.
So it was the day after LSU won the bowl, the title with Joe Burrow. Hudson goes, y'all can all come in at noon. He goes, y'all just come in at noon. I get a call from Scotty. You hear what happened? And I'm like, no. And then senior Jeff Hager at 102.5 PD, he got there. And I'm like, I knew what I was walking into. I knew. I'd like to. But it was weird. It was on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a box full of yellow envelopes.
Yeah.
I got out before they laid me off. I got out when.
So you resigned.
Yeah.
So
and Murphy told me, he's like, this is a lateral move at best, and you're never going to succeed.
And you were like, wow.
Yeah. And I've since calmed down to realize that, like, he just wanted me to stay. Like, that was the plea for help. Like, please don't go.
Oh, Murphy couldn't even look at him. It was Hudson, Murphy. And Hudson ran off the
Hudson just started when I left.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I was there for all the Dick Lewis time and then the Donnie Piku time.
Well, and Murphy couldn't look at me and his head was down. And I said, Murphy, I need to ask you something. What did I do wrong? And then he looked up and goes, you did. And he goes, I'm sorry.
And that's why, if I'm not here, I'm not ready.
Right.
What's that? Ready to roll? All right. Let's get in here and figure out what we're talking about, because
Is it all right if I call y'all Pennington Biomedical just for the Facebook? Because if it's too long, it cuts everything off.
Pennington Biomedical is good enough.
Okay, cool deal. I know, because the ticker is too long, it cuts off everything else.
I think that's smart. Yep.
all right. So it is. We'll roll around.
What time do you guys get here?
Ooh, he gets here at what, 3:45?
No, I wake up at 3:45. I get here at 4:45.
Jesus H.
So,
What time do you go to bed at night?
I'm not going to answer that question because y'all work in health.
And when she and her expertise is sleep, so
I'm definitely not gonna,
You are the reason why I'm here.
Right.
I need to make sure that you sleep more.
I completely understand, but I'm also a father of 3, and I've got 2 jobs outside of this one, and so yeah, I get to bed around 11.
okay.
So
You hardly sleep. How do you function then?
We don't know. I asked him that all
You
day
do take
long.
naps?
I do.
Lately, my sleep has been. I've always had good sleep in here lately.
After the show, I'll take about a 20-minute nap, and then I'll have a window at about 2:00 in the afternoon.
You nap here somewhere,
I'll just put my head down on my desk.
and you'll immediately go to sleep.
Not immediately,
Yeah.
but like I have to. It sounds weird, but I have to focus on it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all coffeed up.
Yeah.
But no, I will. It's pretty regular. It's a pretty regular routine.
Nice.
So I'm regularly irregular, I guess, with the routine. So But no, I'm making a point. It's intentional. Like I'm not trying to, win awards for being awake the longest.
Yeah. Mhm.
I've always got a solid 8 hours. But here lately, I've been getting like 6 or 7, and I can tell I'm struggling. I've been staying up a couple nights, kind of later. Just different things have been going on, and yeah.
I think that's why we are doing the work we are doing.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to improve your health if you can't really improve your sleep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the core of what we are trying to do right now.
Nice.
Stuart Brian is sleep deprived. We know.
You've been on before.
Mm-hmm.
This is your first time on, right? You said is it pronounced with CH or an SH? Prachi?
Prachi.
Prachi.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then sing is that's like sing a song.
Right. Is there anything y'all definitely want me to hit on? I know we're talking Women's Day for Wellness, but like as far as like individual.
I just want to be sure to cover our health screenings, and I'll talk about that as well in our education sessions, which are going to be a panel, which will have Dr. Singh as well as a couple other Pennington experts, and we're doing a talk on obesity-associated medical conditions and obesity management, and then Alzheimer's disease and brain health. Those are our 3 main talks. And I'll touch on chair yoga or whatever else you throw to me. I can do whatever. And I think you have some other.
I'm just going to talk about sleep. What is sleep like in Louisiana, and then touch upon what work we do.
What's our time frame here?
7:36 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. I told you we were pivoted coming into this segment, and boy, are we pivoting. Going from talking to the Deputy Secretary of Energy to the Pennington Biomedical Research Center. We've got John Lovelace and Dr. Prachi Singh in with us. Women's Day, Wellness Day for Women coming up. I believe it is a week from tomorrow.
March 7th.
March 7th is what we got going on. So let's just wide open. First of all, welcome. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing great. Thanks for having us here.
Glad to have you all in here. John, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to catch up with you guys. It's a little early.
We start early.
Yeah,
we start early. We do. So what we're talking about is empowering women's health. Let's talk all about Women's Wellness Day.
Yeah, so as we said, it's next week, March 7th. This is our 26th year we've been hosting this event, and we go out into we bring people from the community in, and we offer free health screenings and free health educational talks and sessions, and the more the merrier. We're looking forward to people coming out.
And it's all done on campus.
It's on campus over at our conference center. Yep, and we have community leaders and nonprofits out, kind of showing off what they have, and we're gonna have a free breakfast, free lunch.
It's always the way to go.
Yeah,
free breakfast, but there's also a lot of content that goes along with it. So walk me through a little bit about what women will learn. What screenings are great, yes, as well, but so is the education end.
Yeah, so we have some experts from Pennington, including Dr. Singh here and a few others who are going to have an open panel answering all your questions about women's health. We have a speaker from Primary Care Plus who's going to be talking about Alzheimer's disease and brain health. And we have another Pennington speaker actually coming in and talking about obesity-associated medical conditions, obesity management, and things like that.
Dr. Singh, let's bring you in on this one. Sleep is that's your wheelhouse right there.
Yes, sleep is my passion, and I always encourage people to keep sleeping more and more as much as they can, because that's what's important. We know sleep is critical not just for your mental health, but also for cognition and your physical health. I, at Pennington Biomedical, direct the Sleep and Cardiometabolic Health Lab, where we are trying to figure out different aspects of sleep. The one that we are really working on right now is trying to figure out, if you cannot increase your sleep, what can you do to improve your health? So that's a study that we are doing right now. And I think I can see a few candidates around here who would be very good for that.
I'm feeling so attacked right now. I'm feeling so triggered and targeted right now. And if we bring obesity into the mix, I'm just running out of this room. So let's talk about that. Is this a quantity versus quality argument?
So when you talk about sleep, you're talking about a whole lot of dimensions of sleep. You're talking about the quantity of sleep. As an adult, we should have something like 7 to 9 hours of sleep, consolidated sleep, not including day naps. We also want that it should be quality. So you don't have any kind of sleep disorder. You are able to sleep through feeling refreshed in the morning. So those are the things that we are really, really looking for. If you don't have enough sleep, we and others have shown that you are very likely to overeat. You are going to make bad food choices. You are not going to be reaching out to that apple in the middle of the night. You'll probably be getting your chips or cookies, right? And then
so targeted.
all of that, what happens is that you are going to gain weight, and not just gain weight. All that weight gain is going to happen on your belly. And that is the worst kind of weight and fat to have, because that really causes problem. It increases your blood pressure. It reduces your insulin sensitivity and all those things. So together, what's going to happen is over the years, you will develop cardiovascular diseases. You might become diabetic, all because of the habits that you had even while you were younger or not so young, maybe.
First of all, nailed it. Secondly, let's talk about this since we're talking about wellness day for women. Is there a major difference between the men and the women when it comes to this?
Yes, there is. So women, being women, have some special things going on in our lives, right?
Right.
You get pregnant. You have to deal with small kids after that. Then you get menopausal. And during the perimenopausal phase, sleep is all gone. It's like best of sleepers, me included. I would sleep through everything, 8 hours every day solid. Now, menopausal transition happening. You find yourself waking up 10 times in the middle of the night for no reason.
Really?
Yeah. So it's very integral part. We don't know much about it, but that's what we would like to focus on and try to get more studies going in that direction. We already have shown that if a woman is reducing her sleep duration, say instead of sleeping 8 hours, if she started sleeping 5 hours, her blood pressure increases much more than it does for men. So there is some clear differences between how men and women behave when there are issues with the sleep. So that's something that we would like to know and encourage during the Wellness Day, that we can talk about these aspects and figure out what's the best way to deal with these things.
When it comes to the poor habits, when it comes to sleep, redeveloping new habits, what's the most effective way to get into this? Because I'll tell you right now, if I go to bed at 9 or I go to bed at 11, I'm not falling asleep till after 11 either way.
Yeah. So the best way to deal with those issues, to reset your timing and everything, is to go for something called cognitive behavior therapy for insomnia. That tells you how to deal with your stresses, how to deal with your anxieties, and how to develop your habits so you can sleep the duration you would like to sleep. It could begin with something as counterintuitive as sleep deprivation, where you don't take your daytime naps because you didn't sleep well at night. That would, if you stop doing that, then the night you will probably likely to sleep better and might be able to sleep at the time you really wanted to sleep at, rather than figuring out that you were tossing and turning for 2 hours before you actually fell asleep. So best option, find yourself a good therapist, go take care of that. It does take time, but it is very effective. In fact, it is as effective as some of those prescription medications the doctor might give you to help you sleep better.
Okay. And then, so I don't want to make this.
You got to stay off your phone. So you can't lay in bed and just be on your phone.
I'm good about that. I can put the phone away, no problem. That's not a problem on my end. But I don't. This isn't about me. This isn't about me. This is about the Wellness Day for Women. John, I want to bring you back in on this. Tell me about some of the other. We talked about Dr. Singh's discussion. Tell me about some of the other discussions going on.
We're also going to have chair yoga sessions by Grace Yoga, which we're excited about. We're going to have an area setting out for chairs, and it's going to be light yoga for everybody to get some stretching in.
What is chair yoga?
It is yoga that is done in a chair. It's a little lighter, a little less strenuous, I believe, but equally as important for the body.
Okay.
I'm no expert, but that's why we're bringing in the experts. But we've gotten a lot of good feedback every time we host it.
Okay.
We're doing CPR demonstrations by the American Heart Association.
Okay.
We're bringing them back, and just to kind of touch on our different screens, we'll be checking blood pressure, blood glucose, body mass index. We're going to have colorectal cancer kits, and we're just going to be doing a whole test of screenings for everybody. And we're also going to have some Pennington booths available, looking for people who might be interested in some of the studies we have going on at Pennington Biomedical.
All right. Do we have more information on that right now, or
I don't? I just know they will be there.
Okay. Well, because secretly fanboy of Pennington over here.
Sure.
The reputation around the world versus the reputation at the corner of Perkins and Kenilworth are two completely different things. I'm always curious as to what's going on. That's the genesis of that question. Let's talk a little bit about what women need to do. Do they need to register? Do they need to sign up? Do they need to just show up? What are we looking at?
So we do have registration on our website, but all people are welcome to just show up. No registration needed. We'll get you signed up on the day of. And we just look forward to having everybody come out. March 7th, we're opening at 7 a.m.
March 7th, open at 7 a.m., runs through basically the whole day, huh?
1 p.m.
Oh, 1 p.m. Okay, sorry, looking at that right now. I'm going to go back to you for just a second, Dr. Singh, and I want to bring it back around to the men versus women part of the sleep conversation. Who's worse about it?
Well, both of them are equally worse. If I'm just talking locally, we do a very poor job in Louisiana. We have more than 40% adults who do not get sufficient sleep. We don't have any official figures about how many people are involved in shift work, but we are close to or maybe higher than the US average because of the industries that we support in Louisiana. We do a very poor job for our kids. 50% of our kids do not get enough sleep.
How much sleep is needed for the kids?
It's a bit more than 7 to 9.
Okay.
It's more than like 8 to 10 or 11, depending upon the ages. And then worst one, I think, is our high schoolers, where 80% of our high schoolers do not get enough sleep. So we are doing a poor job in Louisiana. We need to do better. Try and figure out what we need to do really is what is here. Because as we know, life happens.
Yeah.
And when life's happening, we sometimes don't prioritize sleep. And we want to make sure what else can be changed if you can't increase your sleep, right? So this ongoing study that I talked about, we are looking at your habits that go along with it. We are looking at the late night eatings that might happen because you're sleeping less and you're working and doing something else. So that's the study we are trying to figure out, and hopefully we'll have some results in the next couple of years and be able to provide some guidance as to what can be done or not done. So be on a lookout, come over, help us out.
Okay, I sound like a guinea pig, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. John, before we get you all out of here, I want to go back to you real quick. You said 26th annual, was that right?
Yes.
Okay. Overall reaction, because I know when it comes to, and I'll throw her under the bus real quick. When it comes to my wife, she puts herself secondary. So obviously the kids come first, and that is not unique to the Haldane house. That is everywhere. When you have a day like this, how difficult is it to get women to reprioritize, to put themselves on top, to say, I need to show up for this?
I would say they do a better job than the men, for sure. I know with our men's health, like, we're seeing a lot of guys who aren't getting health checkups at all. I think the women, they probably do a lot of better job of it. I don't want to speak for all women, but we generally have 500 or so people come out to do health screenings, to see our educational sessions, and to just be part of the event. It's a nice community event. Okay,
well, that's good to hear. If nothing else, then for the day, they can show up and make it a priority, get the screenings done, and enjoy a little breakfast and lunch along the way. Go ahead.
And I would like to say that you cannot take care of your family and your loved ones unless you take care of yourself. So 100%. Please make yourself a priority. Come join us. Think about what all things you need to think about to be able to help yourself and your family.
Look, it's part of the safety speech before every flight, right? Put your own mask on before taking care of your kids. And I don't know why that doesn't apply everywhere else, but
And Dr.
So-
Singh will be there, so come and ask your questions and
Yes.
ask all of our experts all your different health questions.
And she won't make you feel as triggered as she's made me feel, for sure. Not
That was-
tomorrow.
That was not intentional.
That was 100% on the receiving end because you're talking to a guilty party. All right, not tomorrow, the following Saturday out at Pennington starting up at 7 a.m. Thank y'all so much for a couple minutes.
Thank you.
One more thing before we go out, I would want to bring you aware of the National Sleep Awareness Week.
Oh,
It's coming on March 8th to 14th,
okay.
right after the daylight saving times, where
Okay.
all of us are going to get sleep deprived together.
Looking forward to that. Here's your money now. Sorry, we had a hard break right there. It's
I'm like Brian.
nice ending, by the way. Way to put the punchline on the end of it. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Clown him in the face.
So yeah, I'm like infamous with the sleep. It's but I've always been like this my whole life.
Really?
Yeah.
Even
If-
before radio and all.
Oh God, yeah. Like all through high school, I was first one on campus, last one off campus, and yeah.
Yeah,
What-
some of
what-
us can function like that, but it's a lot mental and a lot physical too, both the things, right?
I feel it when I don't sleep.
Yeah. The thing is, when you take your naps, it helps you feel like energized, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, you don't get the important aspects of sleep that you should get for your health.
Yeah.
That's why you miss on some of the benefits of sleep.
Yeah.
But it helps you move along your day and keeps going, right?
Yeah. It's
So,
I just
mhm.
when I know it's probably because of long form
Yeah.
habits and whatnot, but yeah, if I go to bed at 9, I'm still awake at 11. And no, it's not the phone. No,
Yeah.
it's not the TV. I'm still awake. I will lay there and it's 1,000% stress. Yes. And I've run the spectrum of TV on with a sleep timer, but put it on mute so
Mhm.
that there's some sort of
Yep.
I've run you have leave the bathroom light on and the door crack, and I've done the whole pitch black thing as well.
You've tried different stuff.
Yeah, I've tried them all, and it just the brain doesn't turn off.
That's where the cognitive behavior therapy should help us.
Okay.
Where they tell you how to shut your brain.
Yeah.
They teach you those things so that it gets you to a place where you can fall asleep.
Right.
But I know it's easier said than done.
Well, yeah.
But when you can find time, like say, vacation, do you take vacations?
A little bit.
Yeah. So when you take vacations, are you able to sleep better?
No.
Even then, right?
No, the thing is, my alarm goes off at 3:45. I'm usually up at 3:30.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm up and I'm awake, and it's the worst because you look over, or like if you wake up 2 minutes before your alarm,
Mhm.
damn it!
Yep.
But like, no, I'm up and at 'em, and I'm good
Yeah.
to go until about 10 o'clock,
Mhm.
and then I'm good to go until about 2 o'clock. Then I'm good to go until
Yeah.
the evening. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Do you do
Um,
freelance voice stuff? Is that like one
yeah.
of your side gigs?
Yeah, and I also work for LSU Sports Properties. I
Oh,
produce-
nice.
Produce radio for the football, basketball, baseball. Well, I do football, and there's a whole team of us that
Yeah.
rotate between basketball and baseball because it's a lot of games.
Right on.
And then I'm a mobile DJ, and then
Okay.
coach my kids' teams, and
Of course.
Stay busy.
Life is
Stay
happening,
busy.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
no,
Thank you.
my absolute pleasure. And yeah, the diet end of it, I'm
You're
I'm-
eating when you can.
dash
so.
diet 90% of the time, but you called the shot right there. It gets to be about 10 o'clock, and I'm not in bed yet, and it's like, yeah, that's when I'll smash a couple Doritos for sure.
Yeah.
Every single
We
time.
all do that.
It's
Yeah.
and like completely undo all the rest of what I do. So
Yeah.
is what it is.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you, Dr. Singh. Appreciate it.
Thank
Bye,
you.
y'all. Have a
Thanks.
good
You
weekend.
Dr. Singh, I saw an article last week about this very small
Have you talked to Michelle? Not know it was coming, but I'm also not. I'm not surprised at all.
Are we doing
No, the LRN cuts from Delta.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those music beds where I really wish it was the whole song and not just the bed. I could use some too short. I could use some too short right about now. We'll blow the whistle. 756 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We got ABC News coming up in about 4 minutes. We're going to talk about Delta Utilities here in just a second. Do need to remind you first, though, about One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is their website. ONE. Spell out one. Don't put in the number one. OneBathAndClosets.com. David and his team. The height of professionalism, the height of perfection when it comes to results as well. I am not just a customer. I'm a freaking cheerleader. I could not be more satisfied with the work that David and his team did from One Bath and Closets. They rolled up on the Haldane house towards the end of the year. Christy and I decided our Christmas present to each other last year was going to be a new master bathroom. The house was built in 1964. It's about deadgum time, right? Well, David walked us through, held our hand the whole way through the process of picking out cabinets, picking out mirrors, picking out vanities. We went from an old school tub to a walk-in shower. What's that going to look like? And the end result was just chef's kiss. 400-8005, 400-8005. That is the phone number to get a hold of David at One Bath and Closets, or onebathandclosets.com. All right, you heard the story from our news partners at the Louisiana Radio Network that Delta Utilities coming under fire, aren't they? A lot of customers in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, for that matter, are upset over the high gas prices, or gas bills, I should say. Rasha Williams is the head of a community center in Baton Rouge. She told the Public Service Commission that Delta Utilities' natural gas bills are a real problem. Cut 7.
Seniors who are on fixed incomes walking in with shaking hands because their gas bill is now higher than their grocery budget.
And this is real. I've heard about this from so many different people. So on July 1st, Delta Utilities acquired Entergy's natural gas utilities in EBR in New Orleans. This has caused confusion because these customers are now getting separate electric and gas bills. Williams says energy bills are already high. Now seniors on fixed incomes are trying to figure out how to pay the gas bill to go along with it. Cut 8.
Things like loss of sleep, skipped meals, inability to afford medicine. And these aren't just abstract things. This is a public health impact.
By the way, appreciate our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network for the audio there. So Sarah Porteous, Delta Utilities spokeswoman, says gas bills are high because demand is higher in the winter months and the cost of natural gas increased 150% from September to February. Cut 9.
The good news is that we are seeing indications of the market starting to come down. So we are expecting that customers are going to begin to see some relief in their March bill.
Some relief in their March bill. What's the likelihood that the bill comes down in the same rate that it went up? I would like that follow up. And when it comes to the rate at which it accelerated, if natural gas increased by 150% when you had bills quadruple and quintuple over that time, that's a heck of a lot more than 150%. Porteous says customers are unable to pay their bill can contact Delta Utilities to work out a payment plan. She also encourages customers to utilize levelized billing. 10.
So that you have a more manageable, more predictable bill. You're basically paying the same amount every month.
All right, so we can have the levelized billing. That's fine. But isn't it on the Public Service Commission to step in times like this? Isn't that their job when you see bills quintuple? Shouldn't an alarm go off? Doesn't that send up a red flag? I don't know. Here's news. Interesting. I know.
Hey.
Yeah, I was telling you about that earlier.
I know, but I thought on the air too. On the air too.
Calls out Hunt on the air? I don't think he does it on the air.
It's mainly just
Yeah.
I'm sure it's all in fun, but
I can never tell anymore. But I also know, having known him for 30 years, he has a self-destructive streak. So I'm wondering about the why now piece of this for a couple of different reasons. Number one, yeah, the bullshit about Hunt and Moscona and Alondra and Scotty Mac, like
Alondra? Come on.
Her and him had a little run-in a couple months ago, maybe even over a year ago, that never really dissolved. They didn't. No. 806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. Starting off your third hour, starting off your 8 o'clock hour, I should say. It's 66 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pro studio. Not your IT provider, your IT partner, 180pros.com. We got a busy hour coming up this hour. We're talking Lenten meals in our Foodie Friday. Got Deaton, and I believe he's bringing a couple team members with him from QDOBA. Y'all know QDOBA over there in Town Center? Yeah, the good quick Mexican.
Oh, I love their food too.
You look, if I tell my kids we're going to grab some, like some Mexican, like just we're going to grab burritos, or my daughter loves the nachos, but like if I say we're going to grab burritos, they're like, ugh. If I say we're going to QDOBA, they're fired
like,
up.
yay!
Yeah, it's different. It's so good.
If I want Mexican on a crunch,
Yeah,
QDOBA.
Yeah. Give me that. Give me the. I'm like a burrito bowl guy.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll go burrito bowl when I'm over there. Or a quesadilla. You can never go wrong with a quesadilla. So I believe we got some Lenten specials where we talk about today, as it is that time. Now, before we get to that, State Representative Mike Melerine is going to join us in our next segment, getting you ready for the legislative session. Legislative previews basically every day, y'all, is the way this is going to work all the way well through the beginning of the legislative session. Rep. Mellerine's got he's got some interesting bills coming out, which I can't wait to talk about their genesis, but also about the work that's being, just the overall work that's going to be done. Hey, we're going to get you to This Day in History coming up in just a quick second. Before that, though, got to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust, Neurojust. That's how you spell Neurojust. Why am I spelling Neurojust? Because you want to find them online before you go find them in real life. You want to learn a little bit more about what they do. If you suffer from anxiety or depression, you've heard the spots here. It feels like there's constantly 6-foot waves battling around in your head. Neurojust calms those waves. If you have sought help for your depression before, or sought help for your anxiety before, you already know, like, for some folks, the sit down talking out therapy doesn't really do anything. It does for a lot of people, and that's great. And I encourage you to stay on that path if that path is working for you. For a lot of folks, the prescription drugs, not the path. Diminishing returns. You don't like the way you feel. The side effects that take up half the commercial. Maybe you want to try something different. TMS therapy is that something different. It's more like physical therapy for your brain. Targets the part of the brain that affects mood. If you want to learn more, like I said, neurojust.com, or give them a call, 225-330-7382 for Neurojust. All right, This Day in History. Let's roll.
All right, back in 1700, the Pacific island of New Britain is discovered.
What is the Pacific island of New Britain?
I guess this island off of the coast of New Britain, but it was in bold. It was in bold for my This Day in History. I said, so I got to throw it in.
All right.
1801, Washington, D.C. is placed under the jurisdiction of the U.S. Congress.
Yeah.
On this day.
Yeah. Not their own state.
Yep.
They don't need statehood. I'm against statehood for Washington, D.C.
Just their own.
It's a big push. No,
Yep.
I know there's a big push for them to have statehood, and it's like, I hear you. I hear all your arguments, but the moment you become a state, you become the favored state. And it's not fair to the other 50 states.
1860, Abraham Lincoln makes a speech at Cooper Union in the city of New York. That is largely responsible for his election to his presidency.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
In 1951, the 22nd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is ratified, limiting U.S. presidents to 2 terms.
Hey.
Yep. In 1956, Elvis Presley records Blue Suede Shoes, one of my favorites, at RCA Studio in New York. It's one of my favorite. I like all of Presley, but that one's a good one.
But it's a cover.
I know, but still, when I think Blue Suede Shoes, I think Elvis.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. 1980, the Great Oil, what they call the Great Oil Spill, occurs off the coast of Nigeria. In 1991, Gulf War, U.S. President George H.W. Bush announces liberation of Kuwait and the end of a major combat.
Okay.
In 1996, American film production company Happy Madison Productions is founded by Adam Sandler. Love all his films.
Yeah.
In 2010, a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake strikes Chile. And the reason I say this, the Chile earthquake triggers a tsunami advisory along parts of the Gulf.
Okay.
What else you got?
Did we get a tsunami?
No.
Okay.
It just triggered.
It
just triggered things.
An advisory?
Yeah, an advisory.
So we're not only things that, not just this day in history, but what could have been in this day in history. All right. I'm with you. I'm here for it. Now, as far as other events, we're good to go.
Okay. Birthdays. I am really going down my list. I don't see anybody notable unless I'm just missing the big picture here.
It might be.
All right. Who do you have for birthdays?
I got John Steinbeck. I've got Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And those two for in print. How about on the screen, Elizabeth Taylor?
Okay.
We can also go with, if you want to get really historical, Constantine the First.
Oh wow.
Born on this day in nope. Yeah, born on this day in 337. Josh Groban, Ralph Nader, and that's all I've got.
Notable deaths for today. American children's TV host Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Fred Rogers,
Aw.
passed away on this day. Yeah.
Okay.
And then let's see. Richard Lewis, he is known for Curb Your Enthusiasm, dies of a heart attack at age 76. This day in history in 2024.
Wait, they list him as being known for Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, he had his own show for a long time. Well, not for a long time, but he had his own show in the 80s. But he's really known for being a stand-up comedian for like 4 decades. I mean, if we're really breaking down what he was known for, he was a stand-up comedian for decades. I find it, but like it's it because Curb is a big thing. I get it, but like I don't know. If you're telling me how do you know Richard Lewis, I'm like the stand-up comic who wore all black.
Okay. Yeah, it has right here. Anything But Love, Robin Hood, Men
Anything
in
But
Tights.
Love was him and Jamie Lee Curtis, I believe, was the
and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yep.
Okay, so also died on this day in 2015, Leonard Nimoy, aka Spock, and died on this day in 2008, William F. Buckley Jr.
National Day today, International Polar Bear Day.
We can go with that. Why not? All right, it's 8:14 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Let me remind you one more time about 5-Star Printing and Signs. There are, and this is not hyperbole, 14 billion election days this year. Okay, maybe it is hyperbole, but there are a lot of elections this year. We've already had an election this year. We've got another one. Early voting for the March 14th election starts tomorrow. Then we're going to have the closed primaries in May and June. And then November, who knows what's going on. I mean, we're going to have so much when it comes to going to the polling places. If you are running in any election on any level, you need to call Danny and his team at 5-Star Printing and Signs. 271-4096 is the phone number. Printshop5.com is the website. Danny and his team, they do this is their wheelhouse, y'all. They do great for your business. Fantastic. They do great for your event. Even better. But when it comes to the political season, you need those yard signs. You need those door hangers. You need your messaging to be seen and stand out. 271-4096 or printshop5.com. Quick break. We're talking to State Representative Michael Melerine next. Oh, you can whittle that list down a little bit. It's well.
Would you rather me just have like, if there is nothing, just have like 2 or 3 things?
Yeah, we can. The segment is not necessarily about recounting this day in history. It's about where it needs to evolve to is you and me bantering back and forth.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Because I was like, today there was nothing. There was nothing.
Well, so if like you had 8 things before the ceasefire in Iraq. Which that's something that happened in our living rooms. That's something that we watched on CNN. You know, that's something. And there's a starting off point for conversation there. It's more about the banter than it is about the actual history. And so we started doing. I hate the Day in History segments because they're always about like they're always formulaic. They're done professionally the way you do them. We started doing this Day in History during COVID. When me and Condon were doing a show, doing 2 shows. Yes. You just fuck around.
Well, let's get back to it.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. I was thinking formulating, like you were saying. I'm trying to stick to the book, but we need to
No, it needs to be more relatable, more shit we lived through, like an earthquake in Chile that didn't do anything.
See, really, I could have let that in there and we could have clowned about it. But I see where.
Well, no, that's why but I don't want to shit on what you're doing. Like I want to have fun without being. I don't want to punch down.
I'm feeling you, and I'm learning. What I was telling Michelle in our one-on-one, I was like, Brian and I are having fun. I was like, we're learning each other though. There's a learning curve, you know. She's like, you loving it? I was like, I'm loving it. I was like, I don't like it at 4 in the morning, but I'm loving it.
Well, I feel like an asshole when I have to shout your money now at 6:50. But I told you on day one, the hardest part about your job is staying on task. There's always going to be secondary conversations going on, and you have to ignore those. All right.
Michael, how do you spell him? M-E-L?
M-E-L-E-R-I-N-E. We are at 8:17 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got a lot of moving parts right now. I'm told Foodie Friday is en route. Oh yeah. Deaton's pulling out right now. No, you can't. Stop it. Stop it. We don't do that. No, this is not a morning zoo. We don't do that radio garbage. I'm told loading up the food and heading your way. Gotta love it.
Morning zoo.
So yeah, no. We are previewing the legislative session right now. State Representative Michael Melerine's on the hotline. How are you, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back.
No, always. And I pester the heck out of you once the session opens up, but now I get to pester you before it starts. I want the 10,000-foot view before we get going here. Let me just set the table for where this is headed, okay? Rewind the clock back to Washington Mardi Gras. Governor Jeff Landry laid down the executive order about streamlining workforce and workforce development. It really feels like a lot of legislators from there have said, they haven't said, but have kind of adopted this as what's going to be a theme for this session. Are you getting that same messaging?
Yeah, absolutely. I know a group of us talked in the fall and met with some secretaries of workforce, LAD, just different ones, and just had conversations about, all right, we've done a lot of stuff. What do we need? And that was kind of the theme, just going back to the fall, is we've passed all these reforms. We've done all these things. Just this week in Shreveport, where I live, they announced $12 billion investment for 3 new data centers. And that's great. We've got the Hyundai plant down by y'all.
Yep.
All these things are wonderful. Look, if you go back 2 years, it's what we were hoping for, to invest in Louisiana, to bring jobs to Louisiana. And now we're at the point where the investment's coming, but we need the workforce now.
Right.
And it's a diversified workforce. It's blue collar jobs. It's stuff that you go to a community and technical college, get a certificate, get a 2-year degree, come out making really good money, all the way up to your white collar CEOs, accountants, engineers, attorneys. So it's the full gamut, and we need it. And it's a good problem to have, but it is a problem right now.
Yeah, yes, it is. And I asked this of State Representative Carver yesterday. It's a problem, but it's also a balancing act there, Representative Melerine, in that, yes, we want to educate Louisiana's workforce to make sure Louisianians get Louisiana jobs. But there's another part of this equation that I don't want overlooked, and that's we're looking at like a full generation worth of brain drain here. How much are y'all putting into the balance of educating those who are here, but making sure when jobs open up, we can invite some people to come back home again?
Well, and look, we could educate every single person, and we could try to fill every one of those jobs with only people living in Louisiana, and it's just not possible.
Right.
Because of exactly what you said. We've had a generation of brain drain. You're going to have to look outside of the state to bring in some people. And that's a wonderful problem. That's inward migration. That's the thing that we said from the beginning we wanted to try to fix. And so now it's, okay, how do we do that? And that's where we get into legislation. And you can see, working with workforce development, workforce and LED and just things, and just a collaboration amongst all branches of state government, local, municipal, all the way up to schools, all the way down to schools and up to us in the legislature. Everybody is kind of rowing in the same direction again, to use a cliche about, all right, the long-term play is obviously we're going to educate everybody.
Right.
But in the short term, that's not possible. We have too many, especially on the construction side, jobs that we're going to need. So what can we do to get those people here? But more importantly, once they're here, how do we keep them?
Right.
We don't want people to come in, do 1 job, 2 jobs, and then leave again. And so that's going to be kind of the focus, is once we get them here, how do we keep them?
Okay, and this is where y'all have, just shy of 3 months to get everything done. But it comes back around to this can't just be about job creation. This has to be about continuing the work that you've done in previous sessions. You especially, you got rid of housing presumption last year. So when we talk about tort reform, when we talk about insurance reform, when we talk about other quality of life bills, like all of these have to fall under the same umbrella. How do you pick up that mantle while, working on the focus at the same time?
Yeah. Look, Rep. Chenevere, I know she's a regular on you. She's continuing her fight on the third-party litigation financing.
Yeah.
Rep. Boyer, on our side of the river, Boyer, he has a bill that caps the general damage cap. That's a bill that we had last year, and it's back up.
Wait, whoa. Is this one Egan had last year?
It's the one that Rep. Egan had last year. Rep.
Let's
Boyer
go!
had it this year.
Okay.
So it's up. Look, it's not the 20 bill focus that it was last year, where we basically turned it into an insurance session. But it's still there. It's not dead.
Right.
And I think when I was on with you last time, I said, look, it's going to be a little bit more like this, not a full scale frontal assault. But it's not dead. It's not a dead concept. Two other bills that are still being looked at are study resolutions. Rep. Bamberg and Rep. Carlson had them last year, and they turned into study resolutions. I think those are probably going to come back as study resolutions again, because there's still some issues that they're trying to work through. But you're right. It's a holistic approach. It's workforce development. It's insurance. It's education. Like, we're there. Like, we're seeing the gains, but we can't give up. We have to make sure that we still, continue to improve our educational system. That way, for the generational change, we can have it. And it's a holistic approach. It's not just focused on one thing. It's a lot of moving parts. But look, this is a good problem to have. We're moving in the right direction, not just a little bit. Like, we're taking giant leaps forward from where we've been for a generation. And I'm excited about where we're going.
Which brings me around to the next part. And this is something I've been asking of just about every state legislator is, no, you can't drop the ball, or no, you can't drop the baton in the relay race that is insurance reform. But at the same time, though, how do you keep the baton moving forward without running into the fatigue of beating the same drum?
And the fatigue issue is you hit it squarely.
Yeah.
I mean, look, human nature is, okay, well, we did this, let's claim victory.
Right.
And especially when you're seeing the numbers on the personal auto side, where I think last year the Department of Insurance has said it went down somewhere on average between 4 and 5% across the state.
Yep. Saving 300 plus million statewide, where you should be saving 300 plus million. Problem there is we got to give half of it back on the homeowner side.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is, if you look, it looks like the savings was on the personal auto. The homeowner side, the commercial auto, it's still not there. And so
right.
I think when you look at it, that's what you say. We've addressed part of the problem.
Right.
But it's still, look, now the rates rose at a rate that were lower than they have been. But that's not a victory. That's a good step. That's a good first step, but it's not a victory.
Right.
It's not bringing relief to your businesses. And when people are looking at if they're going to set up a business in Louisiana, or look, I live 20 miles from the Texas border. Can't tell you how many people live in Shreveport, have their businesses in Texas because it's cheaper. And we need to get that back, because those businesses come back to Louisiana. It's more tax revenue. It's more this, that, and just you go down the domino list, and it improves everybody's life. And so we're not done. And I think that is one thing, is how you look at it and you say, okay, personal auto is seeing improvement, but the rest of it isn't. We need to continue to look and see what can we do in order to bring relief to those other areas.
We got State Representative Michael Melerine on with us, talking about the upcoming legislative session. I want to talk about a couple of your bills, but I want to leave this open-ended and just put the ball in your court. What are you pushing that you are like super high on?
Yeah, so workforce development. I have a few of them I'm working with LED and trying to limit the use of non-compete clauses on interns.
I saw that.
And look, we don't want to start limiting. We did it with some medical professionals a few years ago. But that is a way to develop workforce. I've got another one that deals with, comes into workforce too, deals with Louisiana Association of the Blind, a few other those types of organizations, and helping them get contracts to put individuals that otherwise may not be in the workforce back into the workforce. And that one is going to go through appropriations. It's something I started working on last year, and it's been a long process. and hopefully it's something we can do. Also, I've got one that deals with nonprofit pharmacies and kind of repealing some of the tax that they have to pay.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I think that's important is those pharmacies are able to fill prescriptions for people that would otherwise go to Medicaid, and the state would be on the hook for them. So if we can bring relief and do that, those pharmacies can fill more prescriptions. They can lower the dependency of some of those individuals on Medicaid to fund these prescriptions, and they save the state money. So those are kind of some of the bigger ones that I've got. I've got one that deals with experts kind of in the weeds.
I read that one, and I don't.
litigation.
Yeah, I need to reread that before I ask you about it. We'll save that for the next time around. The intern one I found very, very interesting, because this is an area where I feel like when you talk about workforce development, was there like some memo that was sent out that said find every nook and cranny of a workforce that we can find it's like we got to find all hands to put them on deck, because we've talked with Andrew Ward from the Boot about employing veterans. We had discussions with like Parole Project about finding second chance to avoid recidivism. Like there's this all call to make sure every Louisiana out there has an opportunity to get in the game where they can find a good job.
And I don't know if it was a concerted effort. I think it was just when you start talking about what we've done, the projects that have been announced, and then you have the realization of, okay, well, this is what we need. Everybody, it seems like at the same time, realized, okay, how do we go find those people? And to your point, like it's an all hands on deck in Louisiana with one of the lowest workforce participation rates in the country.
Yep.
So yes, we're going to have to bring some people in from out of state. Obviously, we have a lot of people here that if you give them the training and you give them the opportunity, they can get back in and they can, become productive members of society. And so it was just not a, hey, you're going to do this. I think it was a lot of people just realizing at the same time, this is what we need. This is the next logical step in this process. And let's go.
We got 30 seconds left with Michael Melerine, state representative from Shreveport. I've got to ask you, what the hell's going on in Shreveport? Y'all bringing Jeff Bezos and 50 Cent to town?
Look, I'm super excited. I know a lot of concerns about data centers and utility rates, and those are very well founded. But let's look back and see, in the last year and a half, you said 50 Cent said he's coming to town. And if you sit in my office and look out, you can see the fences are going up on the construction. The projects are starting. Like he's starting to do things. And now you've got this, that the Amazon job plant, the Amazon facility said they're going to bring around 540 permanent jobs that are paying 50% more than the average wage for the city.
Yeah.
I mean, that's massive. That's permanent jobs. That's not including all the construction jobs and everything. Look, we can only look at the contracts, and we can trust right now that what they say about utility rates not going up is going to be true. But I'm excited about the potential for Shreveport.
Foot on the gas when the session starts. He's State Representative Mike Melerine. We'll see you when you get in town. Always appreciate the time.
You too. Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, goodness gracious. Look at the clock. All right. Local news, traffic, weather, and then we're getting a little foodie coming up next.
Sorry, I was trying to tag all of our people on the Facebook.
I'm going to go ahead and put your light on because we're going to show off food to the camera.
Yes. The one from Town Center is coming, right?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. I know they have another one in
I don't think that one's his. I don't know, though. We got Deaton. Get on in here, man.
Where would you like food here?
So whatever we're showing off and talking about in here, and then whatever else we leave out there.
I like it. I know you from somewhere. Terra Pool.
I am a Terra guy.
Because I live in Terra. It's always seen, and you always bring men on mercy and yeah.
I do the things.
Yep.
I do the things.
I was like, where do I know you from? And I'm like,
What is your name? I feel bad.
Brittany.
Brittany, last name.
Nice to meet you.
What's your last name?
Totally. TULL.
Where do you live in Crescent? Crescent.
1436, where Tallahassee is. And immediately you take that left, like right there.
I'm on Greenwood.
Okay.
That's Tallyho.
I'm always seeing you at the Terra Pool.
Yeah.
And Brian too. But
Brian's doing things.
Do what? I'm at the Terra Pool.
yeah, you are. You come to our pool.
That's our pool.
Your pool?
Yep, our pool.
All right. I've been a member longer than y'all have.
I don't know. I mean, are you on the board? Because that really gives you a little extra.
No, but like, does it? Let me. Are you Michelle? Does anybody else matter? All right. So what are we doing for Lent? That's what we're going to talk about.
Oh, is this live
Oh,
right now?
hang on. Make sure my mic's off real quick because there was a question I need to ask before we talk. Okay. Yeah. All right. It's about to go down, y'all.
Are y'all seeing
So-
this? There's so much food in here, y'all.
It's going to be too much. But rather
My word, dude. Yeah.
Rather you have more than not enough.
We have
With pickled onions,
coming in.
Oh, I love the pickled red onion.
pickled jalapenos.
Yes, sir.
We do a fresh cilantro lemon rice. All of the fresh salsas made this morning, along with that guacamole. Just with the chips. Well, we're about to get feasted.
What? The rush hour? Snurdly?
I love his voice.
Same. But he's been killing it lately. Eight 8:36. Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We are still setting up for Foodie Friday. My guy Deaton Trahan from QDOBA brought way too much food. This is amazing. That's always right. It's better than not enough, to be sure. We're going to get him on microphone in just a little bit to talk a little bit about what's going on over at QDOBA. Do you think Lent when you think, or do you think Mexican food when you think Lent? I mean, maybe not, but maybe you should, as we're going to have some shrimp up in here. There's, of course, a number of vegetarian options and, cheese, glorious cheese. Is a whole bucket of queso over here. We're going to talk QDOBA in just a little bit. Let me remind you about the folks over at Industry Makes. IndustryMakes.org is their home base online. What are you finding when you get to IndustryMakes.org? Well, what you're going to find is messaging. What you're going to find is the voice of industry finally speaking up. How many times, how many groups, how many people out there come at industry at every single turn? You saw it yesterday when they opened the Magnolia power generation plant. There were protesters out there for that. What are we talking about here? 700 megawatts coming to town, reinforcing the grid a little bit, employing a couple people along the way, and there's going to be protests about that. Who has the voice that speaks up for industry? That's what Industry Makes is all about. If you want to learn more, if you want to be an ambassador, if you want to be one of the ones that speaks up for the folks that employ us, for the folks that make all the things that are in our lives, visit industrymakes.org. All right, let's get the man on microphone real quick. Here we go. Deaton Trahan in the house. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well, man.
You doing well?
Oh, yeah.
I really appreciate you stopping. And finally, for a Foodie Friday, we've been talking about this a little bit.
I know.
But I know with your particular business and the nature of what you do over at QDOBA, because it's not all about what's going on in town center. There's a lot more that y'all offer. So I'm glad we were able to make this happen. Welcome aboard.
Appreciate it.
For those that are unfamiliar with QDOBA, give us the rundown. Give us the menu and what to expect.
You got time?
We got nothing but time. We got half an hour.
I guess in a nutshell, I guess the elevator pitch is that we are fresh made and we're going to keep it fresh, and that it's most of this stuff is pretty much cooked to order. It's set up in a line system where you're going to walk through, build your bowl, build your tacos, whatever you like to do, Mexican style, and we're going to make it for you. Staff we've been open since 2005.
Oh, wow.
So we're 21 years in. So we're doing something right. I don't know what it is, but we get lucky every now and then.
I will tell you, half of the battle is the queso.
Oh.
And you know how it goes in the Haldane house. Like if I say we're going to grab a burrito or something, the kids are so. If I tell them we're going to QDOBA, they're like, let's go.
Yeah.
It's fired up.
That queso is pretty much liquid gold.
It is.
I don't know how not more people in town don't know about it, but it is one of those things that stand out. And when you add queso to anything, it just elevates that experience.
Yes, it does. I mean, you're talking to a fat guy. I understand. I understand.
Well, you're working out, so you're right.
No, I'm you see, he's over at Club 4 too. He sees me putting the hours.
At least twice a day.
That's
love it.
I mean, twice a week. I'm sorry. Twice a week.
Well, that's because you need to show up more.
Oh, it's me. It's me. It's not you, Haldane.
We're talking with Deaton from QDOBA. What's hot right now in the world? Because I mean, this is a specific niche to hit Mexican and hit it quick. I mean, what's hot in that world right now?
Okay, so within the Mexican segment, we kind of have two parts of our restaurant. We have the catering side, and then we also have the in-store sales. I guess if you want to kind of divide that in-store sales, you also have third-party vendors where you have your DoorDashes, your Uber Eats, people that are just taking things to go.
Okay.
But if you have those three segments all in there, our catering side kind of makes up about 20% of total sales.
Okay.
And then everything else would be just in-store and to-go items, whereas the third party is mostly around 30%. So of that, 50% is kind of that. Ever since COVID, the whole nature of the business within the restaurant industry has kind of changed dramatically, in the sense that we're not getting a lot of guests coming in. It's mostly all to go. So like I said, catering and to-go orders are 50% of the total business. So your need for such a large space is not necessary. That's why these food trucks are doing so well, because they're just kind of showing up and going to where they need to be.
Our food truck scene in Baton Rouge, it ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
We've had good times. We've seen better times.
Yeah.
The oldest daughter is at Southern Miss in Hattiesburg, and we went to this place called the Lucky Rabbit last Saturday. It's like this junk store. It's a flea market basically type of thing, but a lot of vintage stuff. The food truck scene in Hattiesburg is off the chain.
Yeah.
We need to up our game here again.
Yeah, I just find like Baton Rouge is a little slower to kind of adopt the philosophy.
But we had it though. We had it for a good minute. And I don't know. I guess some people moved on to brick and mortar. Some people just got out the game, whatever.
I mean, look at curbside. They went brick and mortar.
Curbside is the quintessential example of success on that front.
Right.
But
still, their in-store space is still very, very limited. They have maybe 20, 30 tables or so. Whereas I say in the past, before COVID, before all those things, your restaurant needed to be at least 3,000 square feet just to make it for a lunch.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at half of that. So
let's talk about the catering end a little bit.
Sure.
And I want to get to the Lented end, because you opened this big thing of chicken that smells amazing. And I can't touch it.
I do that on purpose.
Yeah, I know. Well, stop, Brett. All right. So, no, she's fired up. She's like taking the whole bucket home. Let's talk about the catering in here a little bit, because this is one where you said 20% of your business.
Yeah, it fluctuates obviously, but generally from anywhere from like 17 to 20% is kind of the standard for the week that I run. Catering works really well. I mean, a lot of our focus is with the pharmaceutical side of things, or doctor-patient relationships, but the families can also get in on this. If you ever have like a birthday party or things like that, we offer all these things. In fact, we just launched a new program where it's a create your own QDOBA kit. And so you can actually go onto our website or download the app.
Okay.
And if you download the app, there's a little incentive there. You get free chips and queso just for downloading the app.
Okay.
But you can create your own QDOBA kit where you will be able to build something. For a family of 4 or 5 people, it's perfect for them. So they can actually, hey, mom doesn't want to cook, dad doesn't want to cook, call up QDOBA. We can take care of it. We used to call it a family meal, but now we're letting it be more created by the end user so that they can kind of design it the way they want it.
Well, I'm honestly, when you said 20%, it for some reason it felt low to me, because it feels like your model is built to travel. It feels like what you do at the counter can easily be packed up. And, I know it's not as easy to get made to order when you're bringing in bulk, but what you do travels well. Look at what you did here.
Yeah, throw it out there.
Right.
Yeah.
This set up in like 3 minutes, and we've got literally everything under the sun ready to rock
Pretty
and roll.
much the whole store's here, basically, minus steak. I didn't want to really bring it too hard.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you laying off the steak on a Lenten Friday, to be sure. Let's talk about that Lenten menu. What kind of options are out there for folks over Lenten?
Right now, I mean, with QDOBA, one of the beautiful parts of it is that we do have vegan and vegetarian options. So if there's not a lot of people that will hit that vegan aspect, just because it has to be of Earth. So with that being said, the vegan or vegetarian options are available. And specific for your question with Lent, we do offer shrimp. So that's what we're doing right now as far as a fish substitute would be a shrimp. It's fresh made, pretty much cooked to order, because shrimp only holds about maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
So we're making it pretty consistently. It's going to be done in a sauteed skillet. We use a little bit of oil just to kind of make sure it doesn't stick to the pan. But other than that, it's a citrus lime sauce that we use, which consists of lime juice, salt, and then it's got a little bit of our shrimp seasoning. So that is where you're going to get a lot of the flavor that just kind of sits into that.
You said vegan and vegetarian. We'll get back around to doing it upright with the shrimp in a second. But you said vegan and vegetarian. I got stuck on that. What's the difference?
That's a good one. So vegan just basically, and don't get me in trouble, but basically means no meat, right? Just not going to eat any meat.
That's what I thought.
Right. I'm sorry, that's vegetarian. Vegan means you can't have anything that's processed. So like all your dairy things and things, it has to come from Earth. It has to be grown from the Earth. So like a tomato is fine. But if you had queso, even though there's no meat in our queso, it's processed with cheese, which is a milk product, which is a byproduct of a cow. So can't do that. It has to be grown from the earth. So that is kind of the difference between vegan and vegetarian.
You explained it very well, and I'm still not going to understand it.
Well, don't worry.
No, because
you're not a vegan.
A cow is from the earth, right?
Yeah, but it's not grown from the earth. Like Mother Earth.
You get your cow from Mars all of a sudden?
Well,
or laboratory cow?
It's more birthed on Earth, but not grown from Earth.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I get it. I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it works for some people. It's a great dietary idea. Yeah, there's a couple of places in town that do a really good vegan options, but we have that option if that is something needed.
All right, let's go back to putting the shrimp on real quick, and that is where do you recommend it best? I mean, is it best on quesadilla, best in a burrito, best in a fajita? What are we looking at?
One of those home run hits that we have is a surf and turf.
Okay,
where you can get steak and shrimp.
Yeah,
can't go wrong.
Okay,
now.
But you're talking about two different flavors over here, though, because I mean, it's like the citrus and I don't just mean the flavor of the steak or the shrimp. I mean the citrus lime. How does that compare with? Does it contrast?
So we use an adobo seasoning which is a standard Mexican seasoning for our steak, and that adobo seasoning just blends in so well, and you get such great flavors. Of course, with adding the salsas and the things that are on the cold side of our line, which would be the salsas, the pico de gallo, the guacamole, sour cream, shred, it all blends well. And that's one of the great things about this business model is that you as a consumer are able to make it the way you want it. So because we're doing that, it's hard to get things wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's made to order, if it's made for the customer, you're giving them exactly what they asked for.
Right.
So,
and if it's not right, we will remake it and get it the right way.
We got Deaton Trahan in with us from QDOBA. You know where to find. Well, if you don't know where to find them, they're in Town Center. Let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, it is the center of town center. That location brings with it so many different pluses right there. What do you find when it comes to your clientele? Is it the folks that are living in the area, working in the area? Who's coming around?
That's a good question. If I had to really sit down and think about that, I think it's mostly in that area. But like I mentioned earlier in the segment, is that we've been open for 21 years, and I'm still getting brand new customers every day. People that have never been there, and I pretty much say once you've tried this one time, that's all it takes. I know when I first tried this 30 years ago, when I was looking into getting into this kind of business, I tried it and I was like, this is something I've never heard of. And
well,
that was really good.
What's the biggest point of differentiation from the competition? Is it the freshness? Is it is it the quality of product? What are we looking at?
I'm gonna have to say it's the flavor profile.
Okay.
And all the three things that you just mentioned. We're really strict on monitoring our hold times. And when I say hold times to the average consumer, that means how long that product's going to sit out. So typically most of our items only get an hour or less. And we have to pull this stuff and not use it anymore. So we are very strict on making sure that we're watching how much food we're putting out, how much things we're doing. So that's why that freshness and that flavorfulness will come through.
All right. We're going to break here on air. We're going to continue on Facebook Live, do a little taste test during the break. When we come back from the break, full review of what they got going on at QDOBA. That's next on Talk 107.3 on air. Here's your money now.
All right. Come eat.
All right. What am I digging in on here?
Chicken.
No. I can't.
No.
Oh, I can have all the chicken.
This is the heat.
I know. You smell this?
Come on in, man.
Will, Deaton, Will.
Hey, how's it going, man?
All right. I'm going to do bowl here.
Yeah, do a bowl. I also have like we got a little delay. That's nice.
Oh, no, she's putting the recording in.
Okay.
Oh, that's just me. I'm editing to where I
Okay.
can get it to where
You're
I can
pretty
pick it up
fast.
again.
You're fast there. I like
I try, y'all. Look at all this shit. Hang on. Let me get a picture of this.
Oh, yeah.
That's a full size.
Yeah, we need the picture first before I bust it all up.
Mix this all
No,
up.
you're good. You're good.
I got a picture of Brian eating. Deaton, smile.
I'm out.
He's like, I'm out. Hold on. Let me get a video before Brian did that. Jesus Christ. Done.
All right. Get up in it, Will.
Get in there, man. I mean, this is
Go for
breakfast
it.
of champions.
Yeah, right.
Let me see. Hang on, y'all. What is going on?
Is it too overwhelming?
Just a tad.
Visually stimulating?
So what do I do?
You're going to do something with your hands, and then you're going to put it in your mouth. It's going to be crazy.
Shut up. I like him.
I got cheese back here, tortillas, and then little desserts for all you people
Awesome.
that haven't
Let
given
me
us.
make sure. You know what? Hang on. Let me make sure I get how to do this.
And then we got forks and napkins right here. Yeah, bowl is great, man. I've got the pickled onions, pickled jalapenos.
Okay.
Let's put this in here.
Let me see, y'all.
Oh yeah, get healthy.
There we go, y'all.
Yeah. Scooch. You know that shrimp is going to get taken. That's one of the best.
Yeah, no shrimp for me, y'all. Lord, y'all. How's the swim, Brian?
I hadn't dug in yet.
Busy. Only thing I forgot is that chili crema. It's really good. On the
Chili crema.
It's a cream sauce.
Okay.
Okay. I gotta know.
You're gonna say hi this summer?
I sure would. Now that I know who you are, I was like, I know this man. And I was like, oh, terrible.
You call me a man? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Usually they say guy. I know that guy.
I know that guy. I mean, like that guy from Terrible.
It's that guy.
I was like, God, why does he look so familiar? That is why.
Ooh, the queso, man. Can't go wrong with that.
And you're always hanging out by
the old man?
Yeah. And like every summer, I'm like, God, he's dark. I'm like, you don't burn out here.
No, I don't. I have that olive complexion. It's really nice.
And I told
Oh, I'm burnt in the first 10 minutes.
I know. You
Yeah.
get that base burnt, you're good to go for the summer. What you got? What did you just taste?
Chicken, queso, the bell pepper,
Yeah,
the tomatoes, the pickled jalapenos.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the cheese in there too.
Oh man. I might start getting a little, you know how like the addicts start having withdrawals? It's gonna happen. They're gonna be like, man, I need some queso.
I'm gonna have to. You know what?
Download the app.
I'm gonna be in there
Brought to you.
tomorrow. I'm like, I'm having withdrawals.
Well, you know where I
Shouldn't
live
have, like,
now.
dreams of
Right.
QDOBA.
I gotta get a picture of the chips too. So I can order, like, if I wanted to order this whole setup for the house,
Yeah.
I can order that. Okay.
I
Absolutely.
mean, will feed you for the whole week, right?
Right.
I have some folks, so we do a lot of donations to the school, and one of them's like a 10-person setup.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we did it for film. We ate on it all week. It was amazing. I'm like,
Let me take a picture of that.
we don't know. Like, we usually get rid of stuff in hours.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing all week?
Right, let me get a picture.
So it goes.
Y'all did for LSU not long ago over in the brand. That the when was it? Oh, I guess it was back around Thanksgiving or something. Because I'm working with their properties.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, they had it in the fridge for like 3 weeks afterwards.
Oh. Ew.
I can't help people. I can only bring them the food.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
I know,
man.
come and eat, y'all.
Enjoy it.
I got so many.
Go tell everybody. I was.
Sales
they're gonna
sales
start
waits till
lining
we
up,
are
y'all.
till we're off the air, and then they just come in like pillage.
They come in wait. I know, everybody just starts coming in.
That's awesome. That's
All right.
awesome.
All right, I got so much to break down here.
So do you make your guac fresh?
Oh yeah, it has to be made fresh.
I want you to taste the guac.
Oh, I mean that guac is it's legit, man.
You know what? That guac's better than some of the shit I got at the restaurant.
Well, yeah. I mean, like literally, I had guys this morning hand smashing guacamole, and so that's just how it's done. It's just so flavorful. So what we're gonna use is like salt, lime juice.
That's fresh.
You gotta blast that somehow. So fresh.
I'm gonna give you a shout out on Tiger tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I'm still
on air on 100.7.
I'm still thinking about that
I
guacamole.
sure will. I'll be like that guy from Terra Pool.
That guy. Not that man. That guy.
All right.
Hashtag that guy.
856 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Trying to unpack everything that I just tasted from QDOBA. We got Deaton and from QDOBA. You'll find them in Town Center. Yes, it's Lent, but they've got Lenten options that are phenomenal. All right, first of all, had to do the shrimp, a couple different like flavor profiles here. Okay, first of all, pickled jalapenos don't normally have that level of pop to them. Your pickled jalapenos, they say it with the chest right there. It's
supposed to clear their sinuses out.
Yeah, mission accomplished. All right, so
and if you really want to go to next level, I didn't bring it, but we have a habanero salsa that, when you pair that with our queso Diablo, which is our spicy queso, your pickled jalapenos, and that habanero salsa, that's a triple threat, man.
I still want to feel my face though, like at some point.
But you do want to breathe again through your nose.
Also,
right?
also true. So the shrimp, the adaptability of it when it's paired with the jalapeno, when it's paired with the guacamole, or when I just ate one by itself as well, the flavoring on the citrus lime flavoring on it is unbelievably great. Love it from start to finish. but the way it's adaptable to everything else in there, it blends so well. Normally, when you're thinking Mexican, the chicken will blend with anything. The steak blends with
cheese and steak, always great.
Right. You know how to pair the steak the right way. So when it comes to the shrimp, the way it's so adaptable was the most impressive thing about it. Now, that being said, the freshness of everything you've got out here, up to and including the peppers in the back here, the bell peppers in the back. You talked about the process of when we were during the break, the process of making the guacamole, how it's made fresh and whatnot.
Right.
The peppers, I feel like they were chopped, thrown on the griddle, and then taken right over here.
That's exactly what we do. I mean, that's what we're going to do with the fajita peppers. I mean, pretty much everything is fresh made by hand. We're not doing all the processing. I have people that are cutting things. Yes, we do have slicers in the back, but they're coring the things by hands. They're taking their time with the stuff. I pay prep people just to do the prep. Just to do the prep, just to make sure we have the best quality that we can. And they're inspecting every item, and if it doesn't look right or doesn't pass the eye test, it's gone. We're not going to use it because there's no reason for me to put out an inferior product to a guest that would have a bad experience and not want to come back.
Okay, fresher is obviously more flavorful, and that shows in everything that we tried. Is fresher? Does it also equate to healthier? What meaning? If you've got food that has to sit out, there's probably going to be complemented with other preservatives.
It's mostly when you think of health, you think of the source of where it comes from.
Okay,
organic, grass-fed, things of that nature. Our chicken is not, it's a fresh chicken. It's processed in a with Tyson chicken, and it is out there as one of those premium options, along with the steak and things like that. So yes, you have to make sure your source of the product is really, really good. You have to watch how you receive that product, because if it's sitting in certain areas, it's not going to work.
All right, we're going to sign off on the air. We got to get out of here. Moon Griffon's coming up next. Go see Deaton over at QDOBA in Town Center. Facebook, stick around for just another minute or two. All right, so so when you talk about sourcing, though, I mean, none of this stuff is stocked of preservatives. If you got a bell pepper, you're chopping a bell pepper,
right?
I mean, with the guacamole,
well, you have
you
have the pesticides and things like that. You got to worry about. Well, so you got to worry about how you wash and clean. So we're going to wash and clean all our vegetables before we use them.
Yeah. What is the most popular item on the menu on a regular day?
I need some more chicken.
Queso, whatever. That's probably the most.
Yes, you can enjoy.
Queso, whatever. The chicken or steak are still. Chicken is probably our number one seller. Steak is number two, right behind it. Yeah.
What is your favorite?
Man, I've been doing this for 26 years. It just depends on the day, but I usually keep it really simple. Right now, I'm just a rice, chicken, fajita bowl kind of guy.
That's when I went rice, shrimp, and with the bowl.
Today will just be shrimp.
Well, of course. Yeah, of course. Hey, y'all, before we sign off, just want to remind you one more time. If you're looking to cater for your office, sneaky good idea right here. And look, let's just admit it. Mexican food is fun. And when you lay out the buffet like that, you're making it to your own individual liking. You're going to please everybody in the office. Give Deaton a call. Go see him over there at Town Center. Or like he said, download the app. We can get that done right away. Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll see you all Monday. Clayton, Deaton.